podcast is intended for mature audiences. The views and opinions expressed are those of the panelists and do not reflect in any way those of the podcast partners, sponsors, or affiliates. Enjoy.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and you're listening to the Voice of the People. Let's get ready for Boxing Voice.
BoxingVoice.com.
What broke him down? Was it just the body punching? I was hitting him with body punching. I heard him, actually, he was crying in there. You were saying that Biggs was crying when you hit him? Yes. When did that happen? And perhaps the fourth round on?
BoxingVoice.com.
So that you knew you had him by that time? Absolutely, but I knew he was tough and taking those punches.
Beyonce Productions.
Making women gestures like, oh.
Let's go, champ.
Good morning, TBV. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another glorious morning. Hailing from sunshiny, that's not the word. It's Sunshine State. That's the word. Sunshine State, Florida. Yo, I'm new here, man. But it doesn't matter. Because you see the energy has changed ever since I've been soaking in the sun, man, the rays. I'm feeling like Superman. You know, what was that old Christopher Reeve Superman where he fought the demigod who, like, got power from the sun?
That was 3, wasn't? No, that was 2.
So, my girl just ruined my mood.
Uh-oh, what happened? What happened, Champy?
She can't find one of my dogs.
No.
Yeah. I'm gonna just not worry and let her worry. See, that's what happens. You can't have
But
issues.
she walks off in other yards, right? She does that.
No, she doesn't. So I don't know what the fuck is going on. She just ruined my mood. But we're here to discuss Pacquiao or Crawford, or an announcement for Crawford and a big fight. And we're asking ourselves, is it Pacquiao since she must have found it.
Awesome.
Is it Pacquiao since Crawford's been talking so tough, right? Like, oh, he don't want the Earl fight. You know, I'm done with the Earl fight. I don't need the Earl fight. And then all of a sudden it's like, wait, we got an announcement, a big announcement for a big fight. So it's like, damn, is he talking slick to Earl because he's about to get the torch pass? That is my theory, right? Or that's what I'm assuming, but there's so many other things to assume because there are some facts out there that I know you want to present. I don't necessarily agree with the angle that Mario is leaning, but he does seem to have more people that believe this angle. So we want to present it to you guys and see if he can sway you, or, do you think Crawford will be fighting someone else? There's some heavy rumors that it can be Castillo Clayton. We've heard things about Josecito Lopez. We know Sean Porter's the mandatory, but he got COVID. Would he have enough time to train for Crawford if they announce this fight? Mikey Garcia can be an option.
He said the other day, Pac's not our only option. Shout out to the producer. So, who knows what that means? If you look at the landscape of boxing, there is this thing where it's like, okay, if it's not Pac, then it's got to be somebody that's going to make, equal buzz, or at least close to equal, which is really hard to do with today's landscape. And, I don't think the needle moves as much as Bud. Like, that crossover type of appeal fight, like, that's what we want. See, the reason why it means so much more for Bud when we announce his fights is because we're looking for the barriers to get broken down. If Bud fights a Porter, well, then that gives us hope that Porter can fight Virgil Ortiz, or or and that was just two random people. But that's why it's so important. So
you
it's
went
not
left
that
field right there. Why when you said if Bud could fight Porter, I thought the next fight you was gonna say is like, well, that means Spence could fight Bud. My man said Porter could fight Virgil. The Mexican. I was
trying to think of another promoter.
Lies. It's the Mexican in him. He's like, wait, we can't leave Virgil Ortiz out. Hey, yo, what the hell? He said Porter could fight Virgil. I'm like, wait, what are we talking about here? But nah, man, I get you. I think that's why he gets so much anticipation built around his fights, because it's like everyone's desperately waiting for them to do better than the last time is the best way to put it. We just want you to do better than the last time with the opponent choice. But I'm going to play this audio. You ready? Like, this is what you want? You going with this?
Yeah, let's set this up real quick. So what people have to understand is that Bob went on Fred's show, The Barbershop, shout out to him, and had a conversation. They had a conversation about Bud's next fight, which Bob announced live on their program would be announced this week. They're going to have a big announcement this week. And he laid a few things out that makes me think that it's either going to be Porter or Thurman. The thing about Porter is he did say that he made it very clear that the negotiations had not broken down, despite there had been some rumors that a Bud Porter fight was no longer being negotiated. He made it very clear, with some pretty good journalism by Fred, that that's not the case. So the Thurman portion of it, I want to play and let's hear it.
Yeah, and this is a excerpt from Barbershop Conversations with Fred, and shout out to Fred for conducting this interview.
We deferring, and I'm just wondering why. When we ask you about upcoming bouts, why is it a big secret?
And this is actually Fred's co-host. I think he said his name was DB.
Yeah, DB.
So this is Fred's co-host talking.
We deferring. And I'm just wondering why. When we ask you about upcoming bouts, why is it a big secret? Like, why not just tell the fans right away?
Because the people who are arranging the fight have asked us not to. I've told you what our fights are in June, what our fights are in April, what our fights are in May. But here, we have radio silence because people that we're working with asked us to.
Thurman's people ask you guys to keep it quiet?
They want to make the announcement.
So
got it. Okay.
So you see, that's my issue, right? Like everyone.
That's what you call the smoking.
Everyone
gun.
is falling for the like the okie doke, the 52. Like, did Bob even know that he slid Thurman in there? Because Bob never says Thurman, and that's why. And Mario's like, nah, Bob confirmed. But I'm like, how could he confirm? Like my man never said Thurman. He said their people want to announce. They asked us to keep radio silence. It was the interviewer that then interjected. So Thurman's people want y'all to be silent, and he said they want to announce. He's 87. We don't know. Did he hear my man say Thurman? Again, Bob is on a cell phone. They are on the radio. It's the communication. That was something that needed to be double back. Like, wait, so you're saying Thurman's people wanted to know? Yes, Thurman's okay. But, I mean, that was more like in passing. So I'm not hanging my hat on that nail right there. Like, I'm not going to be like, boop, yup, that's the fight. Not to say I don't want the fight. I want the fight. And it's like you said, it would be a barrier getting broke down because not too long ago they were saying Thurman wasn't worth the $10 million. Not too long ago, all the Porter, all the Bud fans were discrediting Thurman. So it's a little bit different now. But let's assume Mario was right. Let's for 1 second just talk about that. How happy are you if it is a Thurman versus Bud?
For it to be Thurman would I would be significantly happier. And I want to explain this very carefully because I don't want to give off the impression that Porter isn't the guy. I think Porter's a great fighter. I think that would be a great fight. The thing is that for it to be Thurman means that we don't have to have months of two people calling each other out. We don't have to have article after article, news report after news report, interview after interview to make a fight between these two people. For all intents and purposes, nobody really would have picked Thurman before now. Nobody thought that fight was on the radar. Not really. You know, there's some people that kind of throw shit at the wall and see if it sticks on Twitter. But, you know, for the most part, nobody has really come out and said that. So for a fight to manifest between those two, seemingly out of nowhere, it gives me hope that the Earl fight's not done. By the way, it also puts chips on the table of one of two guys, right? The winner between Bud and Thurman, to go into the Spence fight, because it seems like Spence is convinced that he is the, you know, A side of the situation, that he deserves this, you know, ridiculous split, in my opinion. And so for it to be Thurman or Crawford, one of them is going to be able to legitimately say, I've done something that Spence couldn't or wouldn't do or didn't do regardless. So that's why the fight for me means a little more. For it, the opponent, it really doesn't matter a whole lot. I think Thurman is the better fighter for sure. So I want to see him fight the better fighter. But Porter is such a dog and makes a fight with anybody that, you know, I would be just as happy for that fight too. But that's why the Thurman fight moves the needle for me. I think that the implications are big time. And the fact that it makes it seem perfect that Bud took out, you know, the one guy that Spence didn't, while Spence took out everybody else. That's a narrative you can sell. You know, for Thurman, it's kind of him recapturing that glory.
No, and I mean, I believe, you know, Bud and Thurman had some sort of back and forth once upon a time. Yeah. You know, and this fight is sellable. But, you know, as Doomy coined the new phrase here on TBV, let's talk about the pink elephant in the room. Keith Thurman's been out, what, 3 years now? How long has he been out the ring? Why is this a normal pattern for Top Rank and Terence Bud Crawford to get seemingly the most inactive or weakest link available to him? Like, and now we're out of options, right? Like, if we are to believe that COVID did anything to anyone else that received it and then went on to fight and didn't look good, well, then we know we don't want Porter to fight Bud next because he got COVID. But then our best option is Thurman, that's been off of the ring 2 years, maybe 3 years. And what's the next best option? Castillo Clayton, who no matter what you saw that night, whether you thought he won, whether you thought he got robbed, he only did enough to get robbed, because dudes that do more don't get robbed. So I mean, who
like
is
the
it?
way you said that.
Like who is it that we have to look forward to? You know, it's a really sad ass situation, and it's getting fucking boring to keep.
It's getting boring.
About
it's getting tough. But you got to understand, you can't blame them for COVID. You know, you can't really blame them for the situation that's come about. I get it. There are determining factors, you know, Brooke coming off of his hiatus, now Thurman coming, you know, possibly coming off his hiatus. I think, though, in all honesty, I give Thurman a better shot of winning, as inactive as he's been, than Porter, you know, who is much fresher. I give Thurman a better shot than everybody not named Spence.
Is something wrong here? Or have they removed Keith Thurman from the box rec? Like, is he been?
He's
out?
inactive. He's inactive. They took him out.
So he's not even ranked.
He's not ranked. No, he's not ranked anymore.
You see what I'm saying? There's a pattern, man. There's a pattern here, and we should not stand for it, because trust and believe, you know, Bud Crawford and Keith Thurman, strong possibility it's on pay-per-view. Strong possibility
easy.
It's on pay-per-view.
Easy.
So we need to start putting our foot down, man. I don't know. This is listen.
But nobody said where was Mayweather and Pacquiao ranked in box rec when they were about to fight. Like nobody, these two guys are beyond belts. These two guys are beyond rankings.
No, you're right. Pacquiao Bud is beyond belts and beyond ranking. Pacquiao's a legend, so for Bud, it don't matter that Pacquiao's 40. It don't matter that he's inactive. It only matters that I'm snatching a torch from him. It only matters that I'm gonna put that legend's name on my resume. That's cool. You name hunting. That's cool. That's what Pacquiao did to Oscar. That it's cool. But Thurman's different. Thurman's different. He's not the legend. And man, now he's not even ranked. Oh,
yeah.
So and this is what I like, Brandon. I like that now your energy has changed. But when Thurman wanted 10 million, you called them all types of names, you specifically. But now, a year later, right? A year later, another year of inactivity. Now, Brandon, the president of the Bud Tenders, is happy. Like, oh yeah, now it's a safe one. And now it's safe. He's been out the ring and trying to negotiate this fight for over a year. Yeah, now it's safe to take it. Stop it. And let's see. Intrigue is saying that he's still ranked in the WBC rankings. Possibly, he never got stripped of that WBC, man. So they probably owe him a favor. You know what I'm saying? They probably owe him a favor. Rivas is ranked in the Bridgerweight and was ranked at number 4 in the WBC at one point in the heavyweight division. So,
yes, he was.
Favor for a favor, man. We know how this business works. But he is right. Cool. Keith Thurman is number 3 in the WBC in the welterweight division, right behind Mikey Garcia. And Mikey's number 3 in the WBO. Now, that's the other option, and we're going based off the hunch that Mikey said in his interview with Boxing Scene. Look, Pacquiao's not my only option. So, as boxing fans, what are Mikey's options? Obviously, everyone on PBC, right? The same options available to Crawford are available to Mikey. He can make a Thurman fight. I think Garcia versus Thurman. Garcia, right? That's good. Garcia Pacquiao. That's his option. Garcia Crawford. That's an option. And I think Garcia Haney is still an option. What would Eddie be willing to pay to get that name on Haney's resume? How many years does Haney have on Garcia? How many natural pounds does Haney have on Garcia? He was a natural 135 pounder, whereas Garcia started his career at featherweight, 126. If not lower.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And it's not just a name on his resume. It's a fight with a safety net in that they can fight, and then if they were to lose, I'm not saying that Haney loses it. I'm just saying if he were to lose, you can go back to the weight. Like there aren't going to be a lot of people that are going to discredit Haney for fighting a welterweight and losing. So that fight comes with a bit of a safety net. But I think that you're absolutely right. I mean, all these guys are available to Mikey. It's not that he doesn't have a list of guys that we think are good fights. It's that he has himself positioned in such a way that his next move in his mind is a Pacquiao type fight. So then when you narrow the options down to what is an extravaganza, what is something that Mikey could legitimately fight, around a Cinco de Mayo date or something, like, what could that be? Then the field starts to narrow a little bit, and guys like Bud make a lot more sense than they did, 2 weeks ago.
And again, to me, based off like this show, like Pacquiao seems like it's the option, right? When you say we got a big announcement for Bud Crawford in terms of a fight, Pacquiao's the first name that comes to, or rather, Pacquiao and Earl, 1A, 1B, right? All right, thinking again. Oh, big name, Thurman, Porter. As a hardcore, those are big names for me. Mikey, big name. Now we start dropping off. Josecito Lopez, hard to debate. I mean, not hard to debate. Debatable if it's a big name. I know that it's debatable because he's been in big fights. Maidana,
Yep.
Canelo. But is that a big name to us? Castillo Clayton. Hard to debate that it's not a big name because he's an undefeated Canadian, big natural welterweight. But is that a big name for us? Is that a big fight for us? Look at that. Carlito saying, Bob said major announcement. Major is even bigger than big, right? So it's like, who the hell is this major? And that's why I'm leaning to Pac. It's like, damn. And again, with Crawford's peacock-like, attitude over the last 3 weeks, I don't need that fight. When I say it's done, it's done. Like, I'm moving on. Like, only a man.
Stop asking me.
Yeah, only a man that feels like he's got something bigger on the horizon dismisses what we perceive as the biggest fight.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. No, and look, I'm gonna play armchair psychologist for a second. It's like no way he doesn't care about what people say. No way that. I mean, okay, I shouldn't say no way, but to me, it seems impossible that the constant rhetoric that's on Twitter and IG and social media across the board from fight fans and from fans that really don't, the casual fans, whatever, they count their money counts the same way. There's no way he hasn't felt it by now. There's no way that it hasn't at least gotten to him. There's no way that at some point in his mind he started to say like, okay, no, you're the best at this. Like, who's Earl? You're the best. Like, it's something there. So for him to take the stance, like you said, he has to have that confidence to be able to shake off the hate, to shake off, because at this point he would have just gotten off of Twitter. I think he would have just stopped tweeting and just gone silent or something. Like, it's like if you really don't need this, if this really doesn't mean to you what it means to everyone else, then sit it out. Don't talk about it. But you're still tweeting about it. Even to tweet that you're not going to tweet about it is still tweeting about it. So, again, I say that to say that the confidence has to come from somewhere. And part of it is that you're Bud Crawford and you're the best in the world, probably. But the other part of it is that you're going to get the opportunity to fight somebody and then have the numbers that everybody uses against you. Because at first it was, fight somebody, then get a belt, blah, blah, blah. Now it's, well, Earl's done this pay-per-view and Bud hasn't done this. Look at Earl's numbers. What are the numbers like when they fight the same competition? That's how we determine who the biggest star is. That's how we determine who the real A-side without them fighting each other is. We determine it by seeing the same data that Spence has and being able to apply it to Bud. Does Bud do 500,000 buys with Danny Garcia at Cowboy Stadium? Does he sell out the entire arena 2 times? Like, what does he do? What is he able to accomplish? So if he knows in the back of his mind, you know what, I'm going to get my shot at Porter, the guy that Spence almost lost to or should have lost to, whatever. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like that's what he's thinking. I'm going to get my shot at Porter, so I don't need him. I'm going to be able to have my own pay-per-view. And the logistics suggest my numbers are going to be better and whatever. So that's where that confidence comes from. If it's Pacquiao, I'm going to get the guy Spence didn't get. If it's Thurman, I'm going to get the guy Spence wouldn't fight. It's like there is something up his sleeve. It has to be for the confidence that he has.
He definitely has a lot of confidence. We got KDDR7989 says, let's go! 3 fire emoji. Fire, fire, fire. The return of the 3-division champ. Undisputed #1 pound for pound king Terence Bud Crawford to pay-per-view. # ball status. Fire, fire, fire. The Rebuttal Entertainment says, I'm going to give you guys some breaking news. Listen to Barbershop Conversations 40-minute mark. It's Keith Thurman. He's fighting. Bob slipped up. No. That is very debatable. We played the soundbite, and we'll play it again in the halfway mark. But it's very debatable that
I think you said it best. Let me say it the way you said it. You said that it could have been one of 2 things. One, the fact that an 85-year-old man just plain didn't hear the host,
interviewer,
try to slip that in. And listen, that is a tactic that we've used. That's a tactic that interviewers use.
It's a great move.
It's a great move. It was a good move on a chessboard. From a journalistic standpoint to try to get something out of nothing. That was a good job. But either Bob didn't hear him, or Bob didn't say Thurman is going to fight. He said they don't want to. They want to be the make the announcement. They want to make. So
They
even
who?
going
They
far
who?
as to say, oh, was it Thurman? They want to make the announcement, which is something that Bob would do. But I agree that it could be Thurman still. I still am holding out hope.
Listen again, Francis, you just jumping on.
The Mantis.
Listen to the tape. You tell us, because I again believe it could be, but also believe strongly that it does not indicate that it is.
Our fights are in June, what our fights are in April, what our fights are in May. But here, we have radio silence because people that we're working with asked us to.
Thurman's people ask you guys to keep it quiet?
They want to make the announcement.
Got it. Okay. And
So, do you think that means it's Thurman's people, because he never went back and said, yes, Thurman, he said, no, they want to make the announcement when the interviewer said that? Yo, what is that, an Arsenal scarf or something? What do you got going on?
That is an Arsenal scarf. My man looks so. I feel cold just looking at.
Gutters, baby.
I bet it's cold as hell, huh?
Yo, your garage got to get insulated, bruh. You out there with the scarf and the skull cap.
Nah, man, I need to be in studio, man. That's where I need to be, man. Forget about the scarf and the sweater and the hat. I need to be in studio, man.
Yo, come on back to Jamaica, baby. You know we want you over here. The studio. Yo, my girl was just saying, like, yo, look, that's another spot. Like, you just put another chair right there. You got your own desk, you know what I'm saying? And we rocking, man. And then when Mario come, he got this one right here. Bang!
Yeah.
You know
How big is that, man? That office looks huge, dog. I swear to God, the first day you did it, I thought that was your kitchen.
Nah, no, you know what it is? The dude was that built this house. He used a custom builder, so he put these cabinets in here because him and his wife also worked from home. But like me and my wife work from home, but we can't be in the same office. She's on phone calls all day. I'm on a show all day, so you would hear her talking. Yeah, so this was just him repurposing, man, trying to keep the price down. But for me, it works. Like, I know people have made their jokes, but I needed all this space. Like, I'm starting to fill all these drawers with different things. So it definitely worked very well for me.
And it's different too, real quick, that because when I went to Jersey, the one thing I was so surprised about is the houses are built up. Like, they're in. Like, I don't know how to put it, but I come from a place where, you know, the houses, even in the hood, like our houses are super wide. We have a lot of backyard space. Although your backyard space in Jersey was pretty good.
From Texas, though, man. Everything bigger in Texas, bro.
Yeah,
No, of course. Yeah, that's why I was
are,
wondering how weird it is for him.
A lot of you guys are, are used to like ranchers. Like, as
ranchers, that's exactly what they are. Yes.
As you get to the New York area, like everything starts to build up because there's more congestion. So they're literally putting you on top of each other.
People on top of each other,
like,
yeah.
In New York, there's escalator parking. So like elevator parking. So like you put your car, it goes up. The next one comes. It's like, yo, it's ridiculous. It's Lego blocks, but that's where Mario wants to go, man. I am super duper duper happy driving 50 minutes to go to a fancy restaurant versus driving 1 hour to get
in traffic
to get 11 miles to a fancy restaurant. No, thank you, man.
I want to go see the Beetlejuice Broadway show.
Nah, yeah, go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
No, to be honest with you, though, I gotta say this.
The office theater, is really nice.
Now the office is really nice, Mario. We definitely all can fit in there. If we were to do that one show, for sure, we definitely can all fit in there.
No, absolutely. And if let's say Doomy came, there's a whole nother space over here for like another desk. Like, believe me, this is huge here.
Yeah. But to get back to the tape though, it sounds like to me like it is Keith Thurman, but with the whole them wanting to do it first, I don't know why Bob would kind of relinquish that, seeing that Terence is the champion, for them to make the announcement first. Are they saying that Keith Thurman is the bigger fish?
Oh my God, you killed it right there, bro. 3 heads are better than 1. That's exactly why it's not Thurman. I mean, listen, that's exactly why it's not Thurman. Think about it, fellas. Thurman's not the A side. Why the fuck does his team get to mention it first? He don't even got a belt. He's been inactive. It's Pacquiao. Pacquiao's the A side. He got the right to announce it. Who else trumps Terence Crawford? Does Porter, his mandatory, get the fucking right to announce the fight? Absolutely not. Yo, you don't even know how smart you are. That shit came out naturally, brother. Who else can announce the fight over a champion if not a legend? Please debate me.
The guy that fought him?
I was sitting here like, hold on, am I missing something?
Yo, you're fucking right,
The guy
bro.
that fought him?
You're right. Now, what you mean, Thurman? How the hell does that give Thurman some? You lost.
I'm grasping at straws.
Yeah,
I'm grasping at
absolutely
straws.
If you want 50-50 with Earl, there's no way Thurman is the A side.
Oh my God.
Here's the other argument to that, though.
It's Pacquiao.
Here's the other argument to that,
No
though.
wonder
You're
I
at
told
the
y'all he was
table.
too.
Listen,
He was too. His chest was too out. All these fucking tweets. We
but-
don't need you. Fuck that fight. Oh my God. It gotta be.
I mean, it makes sense. It makes sense, but you could also think about it in the sense that it's like you're Bob, right? And you're in Crawford's corner, in a corner that you almost blew up, last year. Not even last year, like a few months ago. You called him every name in the book. You said that he didn't make you money. You said that he's just a constant losing of money. You said that he could go somewhere else, right? So to put yourself in a situation where you can finally deliver on that fight and you're sitting back and you have every box checked off and they say, well, we want to announce the fight. You're Bob and you're sitting back like, I don't give a fuck. Go ahead. I don't give a shit. But that's, again, me grasping at straws because I'm not going to lie. That's a big thing.
No. You know what? That is a fucking good angle. You guys are doing excellent today. That's a good angle. No, because if you think about it, Thurman and Al Heyman's side, that could be a clause. That could be a term in the contract, Francis. They could be like, yo, this dude disrespected me. When I said 10 million, he put it out. He leaked it. Fuck that, Al. I don't want to fight him. He want me to fight him. I want to be introduced first. I can see that. I don't know that Thurman has the balls to call Al back and be like, yo, I ain't fighting Bud unless I'm announced first, though. Just saying. Just saying.
I mean, yeah.
Do you really get the call from Al like, Keith?
Yo, I just
got you the fight you wanted. And then it's like, hey, Keith, what happened? Nah, you know what? I decided I don't want that fight unless I'm walked out first, so I get the,
Oh, we get to announce it first. So that should sound weird.
Man. Yeah. I think Francis won this one.
Well, it's worth it, though, for Keith to make that point because it's like, think about the retweets you get. Think about how much social media blows up for you, like on the day that you're able to announce it. So if you're Keith, you're like, yeah.
Keith ain't even popular on social media. He got like what, 20? How many? He got nothing thousand on Twitter and maybe 600 on.
Nothing thousand.
Yeah, and maybe 600 or less on Instagram. Let's double check his Insta because maybe he got some Pacquiao residual. But
True.
I don't
True.
know. I don't know that Keith is popping like that. What he got? 45 on Twitter. Double check Twitter. I'm on Instagram. Says he has. Look at that, 323,000. So I was off by 300K. We got a lot of super chats, but what does Twitter say? Ooh, I was off by 300K. Got a lot of super chats, but what does Twitter say? Damn, I just be farming like it's off the top. Gemini.
You got 107K.
Okay, that's pretty decent to have on Twitter because not a lot of people have a lot of Twitter.
Exactly. That's a good number for Twitter. 107.7.
Twitter's pretty hard to get subscribed. Only big dudes got big
107K.
I mean,
AJ,
I think AJ only got like 2 million on Twitter. It's like tough, man. It's tough, man.
Bro, 100K on Twitter is like 4 million on Instagram.
Terrence got 216. 216.
Look at that, bubble him. So he the A side, but he gonna let Thurman call it? No. We got another super chat.
Go ahead. You go to the super chats. Right, I'll get to it after this because it wasn't a paid comment, but I just want to make the point. But go ahead.
Cool. We going to
2.6 million.
Who?
Pacquiao. 2.6 million
on Twitter.
Yeah.
Damn, that's boss. Yo, LV Slugger says, I would like Porter over Thurman because Porter's been active. Ness already making excuses for Thurman when Bud stops him. Thurman needs to get a tune-up. You know it, and you saying it because you believe what I'm saying. So how is that an excuse? No, it's a real-life factor. My man been out for going on almost 3 years. Like, he ain't fight since Pacquiao. Like,
bro, and And if Porter loses that fight, like the only reason I wanted to be Porter is because honestly, at this point, I'm making a case for Hall of Fame for him. Like, I don't give a fuck what fights he won. I don't give a shit what fights he lost. My man wanted to fight everyone. In this day and age, that deserves to be recognized for something. I don't give a shit if he gets a participation award. Like, he needs to be in some form of a Hall of Fame for this shit. If he gets the fight, I mean.
Trey Miller said, I said it first.
Now, you skip KD.
Oh, yeah. KDDR says, return of the again, same. He repeated it?
Wait, that was the same one?
I think, no. He changed it up a bit. He says, return of the pound for pound, #1, King Crawford. Wants all smoke. It's either Pacquiao, Thurman, Ugas, or etc. What? No, what's for sure is we seeing Bud catch his 9th straight body. Hashtag remember. I'm dyslexic. Hashtag the return of the real man down and one time, and that's the real truth. Yo, I didn't know he was that.
He said that's the real truth.
This like 3 days in a row, he's been like heavy on the Crawford super chat. I didn't even know he was like a Crawford super fan.
I knew he was a fan of Crawford because when we've had the conversations, but
okay, I didn't know. Trey Miller says, I said it first. F Francis. Laugh out loud. Joke.
It's Reagan, man.
I mean, that don't say joke. What the hell is laugh out loud JP?
Just kidding. I think he meant to put.
Oh,
Yeah.
just playing.
Oh, just playing. Yeah, my bad. Good job.
Twin.
Great minds think alike. Shout out to Trey if you said that for sure.
Twin in Orlando, who's going to be coming back June 12th in Watertown, Wisconsin, when he takes on Decatur, Georgia zone. Shout out to Baldy. Lids low.
Shout out to Bouts.
It's going down 154. And Orlando says, this is like boxing version of the game Clue. It sure is. We got to figure it out.
It's kind of fun, too.
It is. I
Be a
mean, look, when
detective.
Francis blew my mind with that, I'm like, whoa, that makes sense.
Word.
It cannot be Thurman. It cannot be Thurman. I'm still actually waiting. I text Thurman, trainer, and his publicist to see if they got anything cooking, but everybody don't wake up as early as us. And maybe we get Buddy McGirt on, who just officially announced that he's going to be training
The war man, the war machine, man. War Chisora, man. Derek Chisora.
Yo, so you know what else just came to mind when I was reading this chat? What if this super major announcement is a unification for Terence Bud Crawford?
Ness, hold on a second. You gotta go.
That sounds UK-ish, man. I don't know if I can do
Chisora,
that.
man. You know the Derek Chisora said? Derek Chisora.
The white. Well, isn't it like a soccer thing, right?
Anyways, yo.
I don't know the Derek Chisora song.
But isn't it like a soccer thing, right? That's
Yeah,
what
it is. Yeah,
And
yeah.
they just use it for Derek Chisora.
They use it for everything.
Dope.
For everything.
Yeah, I love that. Right? I always hear that shit on my timeline.
But back to the script. You were saying now, Ness?
I was saying that we not factoring this aspect. Major announcement, right? Okay, it's not Pacquiao. Let's play that game. It's not Pacquiao.
Right.
But Thurman isn't a major announcement. My mandatory isn't a major announcement. Ugas in a unification match, evening the welterweight division up, that's a major announcement. That's a major announcement. Now, Ugas is with Al, and he thanks Al all the time, but he's also with Louis DeCubas, who obviously is a point man for Eddie. Like, that's who Eddie likes to say on interviews. Well, I got a great relationship with Louis DeCubas, and I call Louis DeCubas, who talks to Al, and I call Louis DeCubas. Who's to say Bob didn't call Louis DeCubas, who's been bringing up Ugas from the beginning? You know, Louis DeCubas is the one that got paper with Ugas. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if Bob can convince Louis will then go to Al and say, hey, this looks like a good fight for my guy. Keep in mind, this very scenario I'm talking about is the same scenario. Daniel Jacobs came up under Al. He's always been with Al.
Yes.
But he also brought on Keith Conley. And Keith Conley is the one that went to Al and said, look, I got a 6-fight deal for Danny on HBO. And we want Canelo. We chasing Canelo, so we don't want to go to PBC. And we ain't a PBC fighter, remember that? And then after that, Keith Conley went to Al and said, hey, I think this DAZN thing might be better for Daniel. And we chasing Canelo. And eventually he got his Canelo shot. So I say all that to say, sometimes there are advisors and managers, and those advisors and managers talk, and they decide what's better for the fighters. And those fighters that have worked with Al, we've seen that. Jesse Vargas, another fighter with Al that also got to go to DAZN because it was better for him. So major announcement sounds like the possibility of, Ugas unification maybe.
You know, and you could be right because I think, and shout out to the producer who just reminded me of this. It's like I've heard promoters and managers and fighters say major announcement to come, and it's not always a major announcement. Like I think that at this point, if you're Bob Arum, anything Crawford's doing, you have to make it like a major announcement. Like if every time Pacquiao fights, regardless of who he fights, it's a major announcement. If every time Floyd fights, it doesn't. He could be fighting Jake Paul and it doesn't matter, or Logan, whatever. And it's a major announcement. Then you have to treat your fighters that way accordingly. So for Crawford, it's a major announcement. Whoever he fights, or at least that's what we're going to call it. So, but it would be a little disappointing for me if it's Ugas and not Thurman or Porter.
Yo, talking about major announcement, you want a major announcement? You want a major announcement? I got one for you. Border Wars, June 12th, Wisconsin, Watertown, live streaming, multiple fights on the BPE network. And then on the screens throughout the bar, Charlo, June 12th, Shakur, June 12th. Huh? Border Wars,
June 12th.
June 12th. It's going down, man. You're going to be amongst dozens and dozens of boxing fans watching fantastic live fights and fantastic live fights. That's a major announcement, Bob.
Can't beat it.
Know what I mean?
Can't beat it.
That's a major announcement.
Sign up, man. Sign up is still available. Sign up is still available. We're still looking for heavyweights. We're looking for cruiserweights. We're looking for 68 pounders, 60 pounders,
147
47 pounders, 40 pounders. Let's go, man. Get in the ring and swing. Male or female, let's get it popping. Let's get it busy. We ready, man. We got the location. We got the network. You know what I'm saying? It's time to sign up and get yourself in the ring, get yourself ranked a part of the Border Wars ecosystem, and maybe you get something nice when you win. You just don't know.
Damn,
that's 70-something days, you know what I mean? You might get something nice. We got medallions in Florida. It might be something better. You just never know.
Yeah.
Check out my medallion. Whenever you styling.
Right here?
Yeah. Ooh, look at that. Oh, stop, bro. It keeps blinding me.
What?
Watch
the
out.
medallion?
Yeah, bro. Stop. Dog, I don't got my shades with me. Stop.
Talking about that
one? Yo, Jared Lloyd, real quick. Let me get to the super chat. The return of and he says, Bum Lord Crawford will announce his bout with the two-time regional manager of Walgreens, Earl Jones. The pedestrian beater is back in action. I swear to God, that's
terrible,
hilarious.
Man.
He's the worst, bro, but he's so funny.
Pates Nation says, could it be Oscar De La Hoya? I'll tell you why it's not. Because
that's what Intrigue said earlier.
No, I'll tell you why it's not, because they announced that fight is going to be on Thriller. And, and they said it's going to be versus a UFC guy. And secondly, I thought Oscar told Ryan, don't fight Pac, you can lose. I'll come out of retirement and pass you the torch, but he didn't do that. I'm surprised that he's going to Thriller versus offering himself to DAZN versus Ryan.
Yeah.
Because they got the bag, Ness. They got the bag, man. They just do. DAZN had the bag, but they spent it.
Word. Go ahead.
I said mic drop. Go ahead, Mario. It's on you.
Nothing. I'm sorry. I got distracted right there. Go ahead, Ness. I'm sorry. let's see, where were we at in Super Chat? We just did.
That was Pace Nation.
That was.
Let me refresh here. That was the last
Hold
one we
on.
left off.
I see Show Kid, but I don't. Okay, yeah, Show Kid's the next one.
I got him in order. Yep, Show Kid is next.
You got him?
He says, if Bob gets Bud the Pac-Man fight, you know he extended that contract for some years. Bud and Earl gonna happen in 2026. Shaking my damn head.
I would normally say that that's an astute way of looking at it, but nah, the only reason I don't think so is because that was like a really bad month between Bob and Crawford, and he said some things that, to be honest with you, I think he deserved to go to bat for Crawford after everything he said, after putting him on blast the way he did. And it felt like unnecessary. You know what I'm saying? And they had talked about like some other things in the barbershop conversation with Bob, and they had talked about Eddie and how that relationship was after the whole Teofimo fiasco thing. And it's like Bob is the kind of guy who's reactionary. He'll react and then think later. I think what happened was he reacted on Crawford and the situation and the insurmountable amount of hate that he probably got, and said, you know what, I need to correct the role. And so he doesn't make him sign, a 4-year extension or 3-year extension to get a fight that he should have gotten a long time ago. Let's be real. But the next one is Boxing Expert, who says, to Crawfish, a washed British is a big announcement. Oh, he says for Crawford, a washed British fighter is a big announcement. Yeah.
Yeah, because remember,
he's talking about
pay-per-view. Brooke was pay-per-view and Khan was pay-per-view, so
Damn, I didn't even think it. Well, Khan, of course, is pay-per-view, but yeah, I didn't even think of that.
Is there any like welterweights out there, British? Oh, what about 54? Anything Tim Tszyu? Would Crawford go to Australia for a big fight at 54? Is Tim
I was
Tszyu?
like, where are you going with that?
But Tim Tszyu is fighting.
Shit.
He's fighting just soon. Is it this month or next month? He's fighting somebody from another Australian fighter. I can't remember his name right now.
I mean, I like the Ugas fight, man. I like Ugas. That sounds like a major announcement.
But why would Al, let Ugas fight?
Paper. Listen, paper.
I can't see it unless you gotta make me a believer, man.
Not money, contract, right? Like Al, right? Do you think Al understands Crawford and Earl is the big fight?
Yeah.
Okay. So what if Al says, I'm gonna give you Ugas, no rematch clause, with the contract that, if Crawford wins, the next fight is Earl, which built the fight more. But if Ugas wins, he walks away. No rematch. You understand?
But you're gonna still have the situation that we have with Wilder and AJ, where it doesn't really matter if dude loses or not. We still want the fight. It just made it even more salty. The fact that he lost his and his title. But we still want to see the fight between the two because we think they still are the best.
No, you tripping. If you lose to Ugas, you ain't that dude. You wildin'. You telling me the first time you fight a real welterweight champion.
Because when AJ lost to Ruiz, he not the dude?
Yeah, and that's why people still think he's not the dude. That's why
I don't subscribe to that, but I feel you.
So you picking AJ over Wilder?
Am I picking AJ over Wilder?
Yeah.
I never did from day one.
All right then.
Hold on.
No. And that's the same point I'm making. We thought Wilder was the dude, right? Mm-hmm. Or you said, didn't people think AJ was the dude? He lost to Andy, and even after Wilder losing, people still picking Wilder to beat AJ because of the Andy loss. So it's like,
and I understand it's the same thing with Dylan that's dealing with. Like, it's for fighters that take losses that they're not supposed to, the little banana skin in their career where they slip, scoop, and fall in their ass. For those that do fall on the banana skin, if you can get back up and make it happen, he did, man. He came back. He got his titles, not the way everybody wanted it to happen. And then he knocked out Pulev. Now, he's getting this opportunity. At the end of the day, that's the fight that we want to see. Two big athletic dudes, who are muscular, put it on the line, whether they have an L or not.
Listen.
If it didn't have an L, it's even better.
I just think Al has done business with his secondary fighters, with Bob.
Yeah.
Giving Ugas on that type of deal, like no rematch clause, Guarantee Crawford, if he wins, fights Earl next on pay-per-view. You know, they do the same. You know, they did it already with Pac and Floyd, and then they did it.
Don't trust it.
I mean, I hear you. But look, this whole show is dreams.
Guarantee deal. Like, I just don't trust the second guarantee deal, because whoever wins, they have the right to make whatever deal they want to.
That's what the contract is for. See, see. And Bob,
but then you gotta go to arbitration and stuff. It doesn't work, right?
Bob would honor that, right? Like, we've had Lewickovic here. You know what I mean? He said it. If I got a contract, it don't matter what you offer me. I'm not breaking that contract. I've been doing business for Bob's been the longest one doing business. If he signs a contract with Al, or they have an agreement because they've been doing business so long where he says, no, listen, Bob, no rematch clause, but I'll give you the opportunity you guys desperately need. I'll give you the unification to even this up. Because think about it, it's going to even everything up. It's going to make the playing field level. So it's like, I'll give you that, but this is my terms. My terms are, my fighter has no rematch clause. The terms are, if your fighter wins, he must fight Earl on pay-per-view. Split pay-per-view, like co-promoted. Like, what is wrong with that? Again, we seen it. Hold on.
Okay.
We seen this on HBO. Alexander Brand, Sullivan Barrera, then Andre Ward versus Sergey Kovalev, and it was a 2-fight deal because the rematch clause. Like, it's not like we haven't seen fights get set up on paper with contract. This is not the first time it'll happen. Is it far-fetched? Yes, because why wouldn't Al just give him to Earl? But it's also going to create a bigger monster. You give him to Earl, and now Earl wants 80-20.
But why would he level the playing field for his opponent, for his opposition? Because if he gives Terence Crawford the opportunity to get the belt, that's an argument for 50-50. Because they both have 2 belts.
But doggy, if I'm giving you the fighter, right? It's in the contract. Like, I gave you the I am allowing this.
So I'm getting the split I want is what you're saying. I'm putting everything in writing.
Whatever contract we agree to, I'm happy with, because I'm extending the olive branch. Here's the olive branch. At the end of it, a super WBA champion, an opportunity to become unified in the glorious welterweight division, the pay-per-view division, the money division, where the legacy happens, where the greats fight. Like, who holds the keys? It's about negotiation, man. I mean, we're here forever because they don't want to do it properly, but they can find a way, man. We've been seeing it more and more happen. And I mean, now with sharks in the water, after you put the audio out, Snoop is a shark with money. Bob already has seen himself lose the takeover that they built on ESPN, putting the Sports Center backflips. Bob better be careful. You know, people got to wake up. We can't keep making the same mistake. Are we going to allow ourselves to lose all our fighters? That interview with Fred was very interesting, you know. Bob is now all of a sudden open to doing co-promoted deals with fighters now. All of a sudden, he's ready to do something like Devin Haney Promotions and this, that, and the other in co-promotion with Top Rank. Why? Because he's got to follow suit, and he literally said it in the interview. He said, listen, if Thriller comes out and they're successful with putting on acts, then we'll think about putting on acts. But let's see what they do first, which means he's living and learning. Yep. So for you guys to think that he's still
stuck, change with the game.
He is changing with the game. And that's why I'm telling you, it's not far-fetched to believe that they came up with an agreement for Ugas, which leads into Earl. Because they know business. Ultimately, I am wishing on a star potato chip. I understand this is very optimistic of me. I know that. But it's still believable. They understand. Is there, again, there's very few fights bigger than Bud versus Earl. AJ Wilder, Wilder Fury, Fury AJ. Dare I say, Wilder Dillian White, maybe. I think I want that bad.
Canelo Charlo.
I don't know which one I want more, But I'm a heavyweight fan, man.
GGG.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know about Charlo GGG over Bud.
No?
Damn, over Bud Earl, you tripping. You're tripping. I don't know. Maybe you're right and I'm wrong. I don't know.
I don't know. I think GGG might prove that might be a big fight at 60,
But
man.
I just been informed that we are about to be in for a treat. Looks like we got
Who that? Who are ya? Who are ya?
Coach Buddy McGirt will be on the line.
Coach, dun dun dun. Coach Buddy McGirt. Shout out to Coach. Let's get to some of these super chat before the coach come on, so we all steer clear. Where did we leave off at last? Do you remember? Remember, show kids. So Boxing Expert says to Crawford, to crawfish, a washed British is a big announcement. Shout out to Boxing Expert. Boxing Expert also came back with another $5 super chat that says, keep that crawfish out of Texas waters. Bobby, big lobster will boil to death. Laugh out loud. Also, shout out to my British slayer, King Nello. Laughing emoji. Grind Hard Sports Nation came back with a $5 super chat that says, I like Ugas fight as a fan, but I don't believe it do much numbers, and I believe that it will cause disputes in negotiation with Spence, Ness. So he doesn't believe it'll do big numbers.
Ask you, if Bob announces a fight, because some of those texts I've been waiting for just came in, and we're playing Clue for sure. If Bob announces a fight and it's with Thurman, what month or date do you think it would be?
Definitely July.
Okay. I just been informed Thurman's return date could be June or July. Late June or July.
July. I'd say July. That late June is out. Give me July. Give me first or second week in July. But Danny Ramirez with a super chat that says, watch it be Josecito Lopez. Laughing emoji, laughing emoji, laughing emoji.
For who?
Also,
for Bud?
Yeah, for Bud. Josecito. Riverside Rocky. Shout out to Ken Stone that says, Crawford about to fight Bill Spin. Laugh out loud. Nah, I don't believe that. Hold on. Another one. Sway with a super chat that says Steve Kim tweeted he's here in Errol Ugas July-ish 3 days ago. Hashtag big fish. Hashtag strap season. Crawford not going to fight anyone good. And there we have it. And Mario has just returned in the building.
Yo, my bad, fellas.
The show. I heard somebody say Patrick Textura. It can't be Patrick Textura because he just lost his title. And why would Brian Castano fight?
Oh yeah, that don't make no type of sense.
Jamel Charlo for undisputed at 154.
Yeah, that don't make no type of sense.
Other than
I was like, well,
but,
it could be, but then I was like, nah, you right.
What? Patrick Texeria? That ain't no big fight. Y'all tripping.
No. I said Castano.
No,
why would Castano?
Oh, you said.
Why would Castano fight Bud over Jamel for undisputed? It doesn't make any sense.
Castano is with Tom. You know, he's with TGB. So you know, again, it would have to be Al. Basically doing the favor because TGB is an Al fighter. So it's like, why would Al give them Castano instead of giving it to Jamel? So that's what we gotta.
Yeah, no, that don't make no sense to me.
Say this here first.
To be honest with you,
I'm gonna say this here first. If Keith and Bud fight, and Keith announces this fight, why is Bud worrying about 50-50 with Earl when he getting B-side?
That's why it won't be with him.
What do you mean though?
What you mean?
Well, why is he? What do you mean when he's getting
it,
B-side? What's he getting B-side?
You clear it up for me.
Tell me. Okay. So what are the indicators?
What we talked about was if what we talked about if Keith Thurman gets to announce the fight.
Oh, okay. So based off of that, and you're saying that it's like if he is not big enough to even keep the announcement in his corner, then why is he complaining about 80, 20, 75? I think the difference there to be honest with you, is like with Thurman. If Thurman's relegating like the rest of this, like if he's saying, okay, I'm conceding this, I'm conceding that, it's like, how do we know, like in this situation, Crawford, doesn't even has the bigger percentage right now? Like, we don't know until we know that he's playing B side or A side. I think it's still, I mean, you make a valid point though. I get what you're saying. At the same time, I don't know did you get to hear the rest of the barbershop conversations?
I
Francis?
did. I listened to a huge portion, and that's what I'm saying. That
Okay.
based off that,
Yeah.
based off that interview, you can
But
see
did
the
you hear-
growth in Bob because
No,
he's
you're
willing
absolutely
to do
right.
certain things that he wasn't willing to do in the past.
But you heard what he said about the 60-40, right? That's the only point I'm trying to make real quick.
I
He
did
said
hear
that
the
if
60-40.
Spence actually wanted the fight, and if he really wanted the fight, and he wanted to, make it the fairest, whatever, that they would do 40-40, winner gets 20.
Yeah,
Did you hear him say that?
Yeah, absolutely. I hate that because it's like Fred said, Bob, that's never been done in boxing. And he says, no, that's how you do these things. You do 40-40 and the winner gets 20. Why should the dude that
What?
worked?
Didn't De La Hoya do that, or Pacquiao do that one time?
I
Somebody
never-
did that,
I
no?
never heard of that, man. I
Never
never
heard that shit.
No,
That's-
Super
you know what that
the
is?
chat. Somebody help me.
You know what that is? That is deflection. Oh, well, why can't we do this? Why can't Earl Spence give up his A-side status that he and Al Heyman built and give us an opportunity to put that in a 20% gamble? Let his skills indicate what he makes. No. It's what I've done indicates what I make.
Nah, I feel
Not
you.
some fucking long shot gamble. You don't gamble on your biggest fight. Did Pacquiao and Floyd do that? Or did Floyd get fucking A-side and he make over 200 and Pacquiao made 180? Come on, man. We ain't playing these games. These are promoter tactics of, pulling the wool over your eye.
Yeah,
Like,
it's because he didn't do it.
Do it at night, man.
And also, Francis, it's
Guys-
like you could argue Bob didn't do that when he was in those positions.
look at
Like
this
when
fan.
he had the guy that was fighting for A side, it wasn't like he was saying, well, let's do 40-40 and the winner gets 60. Like, you know
Of
what I'm saying?
course.
So, yeah, it's kind of hypocritical for him to suggest that. But at the same time, let's get beyond the politics and let's just admit that that's actually a really good idea, and that's actually what should happen in a lot of fights.
Let me get to these super chats. Did y'all get to the boxing expert? Second one that says keep that crawfish out of Texas waters.
Yeah. All that stuff is
Yes.
caught, man. We all
What
heard
about,
that
what
one
about
also,
Grind
that thing.
Hard? You got the Grind Hard Sports Nation?
up until Sway,
Just
and the next one
so
I
you-
read Sway,
So you
and
did
the next
get to
one
grind.
is
Did you get to grind? I just want to know if you got to
Yeah.
Grind Hard.
I did, yeah.
Danny
Yeah,
Ramirez.
potato.
Danny Ramirez.
I think
Yes, Danny Ramirez.
yes,
Yes.
everything
Ken
until
Stone?
potato chip,
Ken
right?
Stone?
Yeah, potato chip is next, brother.
Ken Stone.
Okay, so
Ken Stone.
yes,
Yeah.
Ken Stone he just read.
Sway in Brooklyn.
Sway in Brooklyn.
Sway,
Shout out
Sway
to
he
Sway.
read. Yeah, the Steve Kim tweeted he's hearing Earl
Potato
Ugas July.
Potato chip.
Yeah,
Potato
he-
Chip is the one that we're on. I'll read that one real quick. And it is from Potato Chip 777. Lucky numbers. Says, I'ma do Bud like Ness did CYP. Bob trying to keep Bud relevant. Nobody knows him unless you mention Spence.
Word.
Mm.
Count
Word,
Drago.
Word. Well put. Count
Count
Drago
Drago.
says, Ramirez has claimed he has intentions to move up. He even mentioned Crawford. If he beats Taylor in their fight, this is ESPN pay-per-view option for Crawford. True, but
Yes, sir.
Yeah, but that's a
that's,
future
that's a
announcement.
that's somewhere down the road.
Yeah, we supposed to get an announcement on Crawford in the next week or so, and you talking about something
And-
that they can't announce till the end of the year.
And I'll also go ahead and give this out because now it doesn't matter. But I had a source that was very close to the situation that said the Teofimo, the winner between Ramirez and Taylor, had the plans were to make it, Crawford fight, then move up. But once Teofimo did what he did, they liked the Teofimo versus that winner more than they like Bud. Now, in the situation where that Teofimo's in now, and I think Bob's trying to smooth that over, I wouldn't say anything's guaranteed anymore. So we could go back to saying, Crawford versus Ramirez, Taylor winners the most likely option. But yeah, I had a source very close to the situation that said they were much bigger on Teofimo versus that winner after the Loma fight. Which, by the way, him confirming too the Loma Nakatani date, which was I don't remember now, but
man, that was big.
That was big time. That was big time, right, Francis?
Yeah, that was huge. I was like, what? Loma Nakatani? When I heard that, what?
More super chat. Yeah, he said that's official.
Yeah,
yeah.
More super
in
chats.
June or July.
More
Texas
chat from
boxing.
Boxing experts. The next one.
Oh, okay, go ahead. You got it.
Boxing expert says, if your skill set is below average, if you're coming off an injury, injured, or simply have a problem walking around, give us a call at Crawfish Pound for Pound. That's hilarious.
Ooh, next
that
one.
Was hilarious. The next one coming from TX, Texas Bulldog Boxing said, Bud say he's past it. Spence still pushing the fight. Laughing out loud emoji. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that, to be honest with you, for now, I'm kind of over it. Danny Ramirez popping up, shout out Danny, says Earl versus Ugas and Thurman versus Jamal James as co-main event in July. Winners fight in fall. Yeah, I mean, I don't know why we're giving so much credit's the wrong word, but interest in the WBA and letting them sort out their own messes. It's not that I don't like those fights. It's just that I would rather Crawford be worked into the Thurman fights. Like Thurman versus Jamal James, no offense to Jamal. We have him on the show. I love him. He's a great guy. I think he's a great fighter. I do want to see him in a big time fight, but right now it's just not his time. Right now it's Thurman's time. Right now it's Earl's time. Right now it's Crawford's time. Those three need to figure it out. But if that's what we ended up getting and we got Porter and Crawford, then I'm good with that. You know, I am good with that. I will say that if they do have that mini WBA tournament like that, and it's Earl, Ugas, Thurman, Jamal James, the winner of that little mini tournament deserves the 75-25 split against Crawford. I mean, at the end of the day, the person that comes away from that has proved and solidified himself, in my opinion, as the top guy in boxing, or at least at that division. But we are caught up with the super chats. But Intrigue made a good point I wanted to say is that Thurman would never be on a Spence undercard. That was the other part I wanted to say about that he said they should fight on the same cards. And I don't know how old Danny is. He looks young by his picture, but he seems old enough to remember that's how the promotions used to work. Like they still do that from time to time, but I mean, guys, this is the oldest promotional tool in the world they used to have. I remember being a kid and thinking to myself, well, the guy that he's going to fight next or in a couple fights or next year is always the guy that's on his undercard. Like, it was just a thing. Like, I didn't even know the difference between promoters or anything at that age. But I was picking up on the fact that, future fights were based off of who was winning on the undercard.
Right.
All right. Are we all caught up on the super chatties?
We are. Definitely caught up.
While we have it, I must report that my fourth COVID test came back, and it came back negative.
Way to go, champ-a-lamp.
It's about $500 later.
So you saying you undefeated and your immune system undefeated?
Yeah.
For them undefeated.
Your immune system's 4-0. You only 1-0. So
yeah,
your immune system killing it.
Super
he got
chat,
the pound for
super
pound
chats.
immune system.
I got Grind Hard Sports Nation says what the future look like for Nakatani if he beat Loma. I mean,
extremely bright,
very bright. I just hope it doesn't diminish anything that Tio did if Nakatani comes behind Tio and does it. I don't want people saying, oh, Loma got old overnight or Loma's done or he's slipping. But Brandon.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go for it.
No. I just want to say I agree with you. You're absolutely right. And that's probably what ends up happening. These guys better than anyone. But I will say, though, for him to go on a run where he loses a close or not close, but at least a tight fight. Like he looked good against Teofimo. Then to obliterate Felix Verdejo in a fight of the year candidate, Puerto Rican, and then to come and beat Loma, like that's a come up. Do not be mistaken. That is a come up. And Nakatani, who in the market of Japan, which a lot of people have been saying that Japan market needs to be tapped better. There are so many hardcore fans in Japan.
Why they don't take Loma
that's
over
money
there?
Ready to be made.
They should take Loma over to Japan. It's the perfect thing in-house, right? Instead of trying to get a another fighter from another promotion over there, they need to do it in-house off of Nakatani. But then Loma and Aegis would get mad, like, yo, why you giving him A-side status? Why we got to go to his hometown? But we got Super Chat from Brandon Lenz. Francis, do you want to add anything? Is that a Bitcoin hat?
No, it's not. Sorry. Nah, I'm good, man.
You don't want to add anything on the Nakatani?
I wanted to see Devin fight Loma. If Nakatani beats Loma, that's like his third loss, man. Like, you know what I mean? He getting in the category of knowing how to lose. You know what I mean? Being a great fighter that just knows how to lose. So,
or he's in the category of a great fighter that went up too high.
That too.
You know, because there's fighters that are good at their weight, and that's why I say if you can make the weight, you know, stay there. You don't have to move up. You know, this is all new, all this jumping up in weight. You know, B-Hop stood in his division for a long time and defended his belt, 20 title defenses. You know.
Hey, but fellas, you know what we do know though?
What?
We do know that Nakatani got that.
Excuse me. What we do know is that we got world-renowned trainer, Buddy McGirt. Sorry, Buddy. I hope you wasn't waiting too long there. How are you? Good morning, and actually good afternoon to you in the UK. How are you?
Hey, I'm great. I still want to listen to this debate y'all having, man. He was getting ready to say something interesting.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, you know that Nakatani got some pop. So you already know Loma got to be careful, man. Nakatani knocked Loma smooth out if he's not careful.
Yeah, this is true. And he's a big guy. Look, I like anybody who's a natural 135-pounder. I like them against Loma. The natural weight will be an issue for Loma. I just think he's too small. Pedraza showed that. Lomachenko versus Linares showed that, and then Tio capitalized off that. But we're live with world-renowned trainer Buddy McGirt, who is now the trainer of Derek War Chisora. Buddy, talk to us about this brand new, venture that you have with Chisora, and what do you think you bring to the table in Chisora versus Parker?
Well, he gave me a call. I had met him a few years ago in California, and he gave me a call a couple months ago and asked me to train him. And I told him, I said, listen, let me come out for a week and let's give it, work a week and see if, we have some type of chemistry. And I came out for a week and everything went well. So, now we're getting ready for Mr. Parker.
Was it a thing where and how you doing, buddy? It's Mario Munguia. Thanks for joining us. Was it a thing where you felt like you needed to test him a little bit, see where he was, to see how he'd respond? Or is this like a situation that happens that, both of y'all are professionals, you're going to go in, see if you mesh? Was it like more of a you're testing him, or it was like a mutual thing?
Well, I do that with any fighter. I don't care if he's who they are. If they call me and say, I want you to work with me, I said, look, let's spend a week together. Because, we might get along outside the gym, but we might not get along when it counts with training. So I don't like to, get with someone and then make a commitment and then we don't vibe. I like to spend time with a person and see if we vibe and then go from there.
Mr. Buddy McGirt, how you doing? This is Francis from Canada. I wanted to ask you, what is the one thing that you have learned about Derek Chisora that you would not have known without being in camp with him or without getting that week of learning who he is?
Yeah, he's a great guy, man. Smart. He's a great individual. If he tells you, he makes you feel at home when since I've been here, he's done nothing but make me feel like I'm at home. And it's every day, If it's not him calling me, it's somebody from the office calling me, making sure I'm okay. Do I need anything? And I'm like, I'm good,
That's what's up.
Buddy, have you watched tape of Joseph Parker before linking with Chisora, and have you watched tape of Joseph Parker as of yet?
Okay, I watched 2 rounds of Joseph Parker.
So
I watched the first round. Then I watched the 7th round. And guess what?
Yep.
He was doing the same shit. He was doing the same shit in the 7th round that he was doing in the first round. So I pretty much seen all I need to see. You know what I mean? I just gotta, I gotta focus on my guy. You know what I mean? Because that's my thing. If he does what he's supposed to do, I'm not worried about what Joseph Parker does.
So
You know what I mean? And
just to be clear, and I hate to interrupt, but I want to be clear. Is it Joseph Parker or is it a Buddy McGirt thing where you don't really watch hours or rounds and rounds of tape?
No, I don't. It's a Buddy McGirt thing.
Okay.
Every time I've ever
Buddy.
Every time I watch rounds and rounds and studied, my guy got beat. And when I did it when I was fighting, I got beat.
Okay.
So I don't believe in that.
Well,
I'm a believer.
Buddy,
If you guys watch fights, right?
Yep.
The first
Yeah,
2
yeah,
three
of course.
rounds, the guy tell you what the hell he's going to do. Nothing's going to change. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, I could be wrong. This is my opinion. Nothing's going to change. And then if you have to make adjustments, then you make adjustments during the fight. That's when the coaching comes in and the training comes in, because in training you got to prepare for any and everything, not just one thing. You know what I mean? I'm different, yes, but that's how I do it, because I'm a believer that, a guy, you prepare for one thing and then he gets in there and do something different, then what do?
Yeah.
And you got to make that adjustment. Your corner has to make that adjustment.
Definitely. And I remember you being on before, right? And you said something along the lines of, if you're knowledgeable enough in boxing, if you understand training at the level that men like yourself do, then you can watch 2 rounds of a fighter and basically have watched his entire, everything you need to know in those 2 rounds. I say that to say, to ask you the question, when you're taking on a guy like Derek Chisora, who is a veteran in this game, who we know a lot about, and even guys that, follow the sport and don't know the technical aspects of it can break down a guy like Chisora. When you have a guy like that, right, who the book is kind of written on, what is it that you're going to try to accomplish? Like, what do you try to do? Is it helpful to watch the tape and go back with your own fighter, a guy, or are you going to get that, with target mitts? You're going to get that with in-house sparring? Like, what is it that you can try to accomplish with a guy who's basically the fighter that he is?
You remind them, because what happens is when a guy is like this, and they've been fighting for so long, they have a tendency at a certain point to just do the same thing over and over.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So you have to remind them there's more in their bag of tricks and that they're showing. So, like, I've seen him do things in the gym, and it's like, okay, he did it 1 round. He didn't even do it while he did it once in a round. I'm like, yo, why didn't you do that again? You know what I'm saying? So there's things there that he can do that he just got away from. I mean, guys have a tendency to get away from certain things that got them to where they are. So now the key is to remind them of that and stay in his ear every day and pound on him every day in the gym about it till it comes back to him second nature. It's not about, trying to make him be a boxer, because, no, we know how he is and we know what we got to do. We got to add on. We got to add a little tricks to it.
Buddy,
absolutely.
Again, I guess I'm kind of going back to the same thing. Like, what do you think you can bring to Chisora? Because this will be like, and maybe I'm exaggerating a little or a lot, but ain't this like his 5th to 7th trainer change? And
to be honest, I don't know. I really don't know.
And honestly,
I'll be 100%
like
honest.
all his fights look the same. Like, I want to say the Derek Chisora versus Dillian White 2 fight was one of the best fights Derek Chisora, the best he's ever looked physically, and the best he's really fought, where he stuck to a game plan. But ultimately, he's like the heavyweight version of Margarito. Like, he's not caring about technical things. is that something you think you can change and that he's going to actually stay disciplined in the fight? Because it just looks like he reverts back to war. He reverts to war.
Right. Exactly. So the key is to go back to war, but do it a little more intelligently. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not going to take away nothing from what he's already been doing. It's like I stated earlier, just got to remind him of certain things that got him there. See, certain people like that, when they get there, they say, okay, I'm here now. And they forget all the stuff that got them there. You can't forget that. You got to carry that with you to the end of time. Because that's what got you there, and that can keep you there if you add it with a little bit more stuff. So my goal and my thing is just to remind him of things that he can do and he used to do.
Now, in a fight,
you know what I mean?
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
In a fight with Parker, you know, and obviously you're the trainer, right? But I mean, on the outside looking in, I'm looking at it like, damn, Chisora needs to be who he is. Because you know, we seen Andy go in there with Parker and get outboxed, and we seen Parker give AJ a decent fight, and even Chisora, you know, Dillian White, he had issues with Parker. So it's like, do you really want to go in there and try to outbox Parker, who just, you know, outbox the five, or do you want to disrupt what he does best and try to pound him out?
There you go. You hit it right on the head. We got to disrupt what he does best. You know what I mean? You can't go out there and let him get comfortable. You got to keep him uncomfortable for the entire fight.
I want to give
you know
us
what I mean? And take him into take him into deep waters. You know, if we sit outside and try to box him, we'll all be fools. You know what I mean? So the kids, you just got to make certain adjustments. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean, we just got to keep his, you know, Derek's head in his chest. You know what I mean? There's no secret. But it's a way to do it. I mean, anybody can just walk in there and walk straight at a guy. It's how you do it. It's how you set it up. That's what I'm getting at. You know what I mean? Some guys you just can't walk straight in. You got to have something in front of you. You got to give the guy something to think about as you're attacking. You just can't attack all the time. I mean, without having a plan. You know, so, I mean, it's going to be interesting. You know what I mean? Because like you said, he's setting his ways about certain things. So, you know, but I can honestly say that when I was here last time, just little things I asked him to try, and he tried, you know, he was trying it. He didn't get it the first day. He didn't get it the second day. He didn't get it the third day. But by the fifth day, he had it. And it was nothing major. I mean, it was nothing major, just something simple. I mean, what a lot of people don't understand is that, you know, boxing, you know, it's common sense. It's simple. But people try to reinvent the wheel. You know what I mean? And it's, you know what I mean? And I just sit back and I laugh. You know what I mean? I mean, we've had this discussion before when I was on the show, but I'm going to change the subject for 1 second and ask you guys a question. When I was last on this show, I asked you guys to study Ezra Charles and Charlie Burley. Did anybody do it?
I did pull up the fight on YouTube. I remember that, and I have it bookmarked. But no, I have not yet watched it. Damn, dog! I didn't do my buddy homework.
Now,
I was not on that show, so I never heard that.
It lies.
Okay.
He lying, buddy. I'm playing.
Hey, you want to hear something, man? I'm watching Charlie Burley, and I can hear your guys' voices. Who did he beat? What's his record? I'm like, these guys got
You talking to Ness?
Yo,
Ness, you hearing?
Yo, buddy, I got a question right on par, right? Because earlier you said you only watched 2 rounds. Can you watch 2 rounds on any fighter and do those rounds have to be versus a quality opponent, or can it be like their first 5 fights and you seen
or their
2
last
rounds?
5 fights.
No, I'd rather it be their first. I'd rather it be their first 5 fights. Like if you see my first 5 fights, and you only see 2 rounds of me, do you know how great or bad I can be, or does it have to be, does it have to be in front of a certain level of fighter?
There you go. Certain level.
Okay.
Then you know what you're dealing with, because you know when the guy has their first 4 or 5 fights, they're blowing guys out. That's what they're supposed to do. They're supposed to blow the guy out. But now, show me the fight where he didn't blow the guy out. That's what I want to see. Even if he beat the guy, you didn't blow him out. Why didn't you blow him out? I mean, what did this guy do different than everybody else that made him survive?
So, buddy,
then you take
I'm gonna give you our excuse for as the team, right? We did not.
You sounded like Rob Cramner.
You
just sounded like Rob Cramner. Hamida.
No, because I want to, I want to put the excuse out there. It might be a cheap excuse, but we do this show every day, morning show. We're like the Breakfast Club of boxing, so and we're on multiple times a day, 7 days a week. So sometimes it's harder to watch footage on older guys when we got to watch footage on current guys. But I also use that excuse to tell you that sometimes we double book, triple book, and even triple book, which today is kind of what I did. I seen the news break with you and Derek, and I'm like, holy smokes, let me call Rachel and get Buddy on. And at the same time, I also scheduled Floyd. He's a new fighter, and he's been making some noise. So that I kind of set you up with the question about watching 2 rounds of footage, right? Like, I wanted to make sure if you can watch footage on anybody and assess them no matter the level, because, again, this is long-winded, but it's to introduce a guest that we have on, and I'm sure he's going to be happy to, be on the show during you being on the show. But he's coming for Devin Haney, but he only got 8 fights. So we only know him because he's coming for Devin Haney. Him and his father are actually doing the same thing that Bill Haney and Devin Haney did when they bust on the scene. They're using the internet, they're using sparring, they're using sparring stories, and they're, calling out champions right now at 8-0. In your opinion, can an 8-0 fighter be ready for Devin Haney right now? And obviously, Floyd, please come on the camera, champ.
On camera, we on. Why is it not showing? Okay, we coming up. How to turn it?
There's a little camera icon at the bottom, and if you, it should be white or gray. But if it's dark black or like dark gray, then it's off.
Okay. Here you go.
Well, I'm assuming that you're on the app.
So,
hey, fellas, I gotta leave for like 5 minutes. I gotta get to the gym.
No problem. Okay. So,
no
just
problem.
Answer that for me. Do you think Devin Haney, man? You seen his skill set? Yeah. Can an 8-0 fighter, Floyd, Kid Austin, and I've been trying not to pronounce his last name until his father pronounces it, but I'm gonna go with Schofield.
Even going backwards.
But Kid Austin, man. It's Kid Austin, buddy. Tell me, do you think an 8-0 fighter could beat Devin Haney right now?
Is it on?
No.
Cannot connect. No. It's like the camera.
What do you think of Devin Haney?
I think that he's a superstar in the making.
All right.
I think he's a superstar in the making. You know what I mean? And I think in the future I think he's the future right now. Him and the kid Jaron Ennis.
So you have Haney beating everybody? Does Haney beat Teofimo?
Well, I think that in due time. I said, listen to what I'm saying. He's the future superstar.
Okay. So does he knock out Linares? Everyone that's beat Linares has knocked him out. And that's not me taking a shot. That's literal facts.
The audio.
Can y'all hear me?
Could y'all hear us?
We hear you now, Floyd, but we don't see you.
The video, for some reason, isn't coming up, and we trying to work through this. But we on the call with y'all.
All right. Well, we hear you, man. So, Buddy McGirt, he's only got a couple minutes left, but he seems to believe that no 8-0 fighter can beat Devin at this point. Why do you guys believe you can beat Devin? And please pronounce the last name because I know I butchered it.
Schofield.
Oh, I was right. Okay. Schofield.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the reason we know we could beat Devin is because we sparred Devin. We know Devin can't deal with Floyd power. We buckled him, and his dad decided to come up lying, and they won't put out the footage. So we already know the flaws to Devin's style.
Now, what's the truth there? Because Bill was on the show not too long ago, and he says that Devin had a broken hand, and he played the audio of you admitting that Devin had a broken hand when Kid Austin sparred him. So, how do you take credit for hurting someone who only has one hand?
I feel I answer that because in the sparring, Devin was throwing that right hand like it wasn't broken. So I find that as an excuse. Even if his hand was broken, you know, you still throwing both hands on me, you know, at full speed, full power. So his hands couldn't have been hurting that bad.
And we didn't want to move Floyd that fast, but being that Bill lied, we want Bill and them to prove that they could stop Floyd since they came up with that lie. So that's why we challenged Devin. The purse that we giving Devin is $1 million to fight Floyd in a 6-round exhibition. We don't want his belts. We want him to prove with 8-ounce gloves on and no headgear that he's better than Floyd Schofield.
Now, again,
Hey,
Devin,
give me $1 million. I fight him a 2-round exhibition.
with the great Buddy McGirt. Now, let me ask you. And what's your name? Floyd's dad.
I'm Floyd. You could just say Floyd Sr.
Okay, Floyd Sr. Here we go. We're used to that. So, why would Devin take a 6-round exhibition fight for $1 million when he's making $3 million to fight Linares on television and for actual accolades in boxing?
We talking about after his fight is done with Linares, but basically just to prove it, prove, have integrity, and prove what y'all said y'all did, because it's a lie, or at least put out the footage showing it, which they won't put out the footage to that neither. But they started this. We didn't start this. We was minding our business.
But why don't you have footage? And I'm not purposely cutting you off here to disrespect. Just saying, why would you allow your son to be recorded, but you won't record?
In Devin's camp, they record all the time, but nobody else is allowed to record because they play tricks with their videos. They edit things.
But that's my thing, Floyd. We know Devin, and that's what I said, that you guys are copying the Devin blueprint. They started this, and we know that he started by putting out sparring footage. So you know that you're going to be in the internet if you spar Devin. So why wouldn't you make it a thing where it's like, well, if you're recording, we're recording. The way you need to review the tape,
fellas,
we need to
fellas,
review the
I
tape.
gotta go, man.
No problem, buddy, man. Thank you for jumping on.
Thank you.
Hey, Floyd, good luck to you, champ.
Thank you, brother.
Sir, thank you.
So yeah, why wouldn't you guys make it a thing? Like I'm not letting I know Bill and I know Devin, and their sparring is out there. They talk about Tank, they talk about Tio, they talk about everybody who they spar. So like, you knew that was a thing. Why not record your and you as a trainer? Wouldn't you want to see what your son did and play it back?
And we tried, but they said all the cameras had to leave the building. I didn't know that they would do things the way they do it, but it don't bother me if they got footage. It's practice. Sparring is practice to us, but it's just that him coming up, bashing my son brand and my son hard work. You know, as a dad, we can't tolerate that. Someone to just verbally attack our son, making up lies and diminishing his brand. So either we challenge them to the fight, they don't take it, so be it. We'll keep moving, but one day they're gonna have to fight us, and they're gonna have to answer for that.
Yeah, and like I always say, like Devin is in my top 5 favorite fighters of all time. So like, it's just the fact that, you know, I felt disrespected as like a hardworking fighter and somebody who like puts my life on the line. So I felt like I took that as disrespect basically. But I'll always be a fan of Devin. You know, it's no disrespect to him. I just need like clarification from them, like what you say you can do, come do it.
Now, you know, no disrespect, obviously. We've seen fighters 8-0. I mean, we've seen Vasil Lomachenko, but they came with the amateur background. Vasil got a title shot in 2 fights, you know. Rigo got a title shot in 12 fights. You know, even Shakur just did it, I think, in like 13, 14 fights. So, you know, what you say you can do isn't unbelievable, but those guys have declarated amateur backgrounds. What is Kid Austin's amateur background? When did you start boxing? How long have you been in this sport? And why should we believe that you can beat Devin Haney now? Like, honestly, we never heard of you till you came for Devin.
Okay, so I've been in the gym, like just around the gym since I was 2. I started boxing at like fighting at 7, and I got over 200 amateur fights.
Wow.
And he won Golden Gloves Nationals, most outstanding fighter for Golden Gloves. He was too young to go to the Olympics. That's why we turned.
How many nationals, Floyd?
How many nationals I got?
How many nationals you've won? Yes.
He won 5 national titles.
What? So wait a minute, 5 national titles. Why you not signed with a big promoter or a big manager?
See, my team wanted to do the independent route. Cause you want to answer that?
We doing the independent so he could show his value because the persons they giving out during COVID, the deals, it's like slave contracts. It's like the hip hop business when people were signing to record deals, getting raped for their masters and all the other money that's on the table. So we rather do it independently than he build his name and his brand.
Listen, I'm no like, you know, I give everybody equal opportunity and that's why you're here. But you can we admit this is the Devin Haney blueprint?
Yeah.
No, this is the Floyd Mayweather blueprint.
Nah.
Hold
Floyd
on.
Senior, with all due respect, Floyd Mayweather was signed to Bob Arum, so he did not do the independent round. He did that later in his career when he was semi-established.
I'm talking about the later. I'm talking about the later in his career, like you said.
Exactly, but it don't work that way because that's semi-established already. Like, starting from the mud independent, that's Saddam Ali. You know, Saddam Ali did that, and then Golden Boy came and signed him. Devin did that, and then, you know, Showbox start messing with him. And this is not a slight. This is respect. I love that you guys are doing it your own way and showing your worth. Again, I was at Saddam Ali's self-promoted Aviator in Brooklyn fights. You know what I mean? I bigged up Devin Haney for going to Mexico. You know, you got to do what you got to do for people to see your worth. And I'm impressed. I mean, wow, 200. Are those all open class? How many of those are 200 amateur fights? That's a lot. I'm so shocked I feel, you know, sad. Like, I'm messed up. How did I never hear you as an amateur with 5 national wins and over 200 fights? That's amazing, man.
And since he was 8. And he sparred all the ones in his league. Like, he sparred Shakur Stevenson. He's about to go back at camp with Shakur Stevenson. He was in camp Adrian Broner, Tank. Like, so he's been around all of them working.
Wait a minute. If you work with Stevenson, what has Stevenson said? Because Stevenson thinks that possible him and Haney fight could be there in the future, or maybe not because they're such good friends. But the fact that they're good friends and you coming for his friend, has this conversation ever come up, Floyd and Junior? I mean,
nah. Actually, he just feels like he just feels like if you're gonna go get it, because like it's not Devin's fault. I want to go after Devin. It all extends from Bill. So he's like, that would be a good fight later on in the future. If they take it.
So obviously, I know you got something cooking. I've been trying to talk to Christy Martin, right? You're on the Christy Martin card, I believe, no? April 17th?
It's not the Christy Martin card. She's trying to get us on the card, on one of her cards.
Okay, so April 17th. Don't you have a date or no?
April 3rd.
3rd. I'm
April
sorry.
3rd in Atlanta at Buckhead Fight Club. And one of Bill Haney and Devin Haney fighters is on there, Cunningham.
Darren Cunningham. Yeah, we have him scheduled as well. And the reason I thought it was Christy, because didn't she do something in the Buckhead before in that fight? I swear she just did something.
Yeah, she done fights in Georgia before, Christy.
Okay. So I'm actually screen sharing your Instagram here with the fight poster. It's gonna be in Atlanta, Georgia, Saturday, April 3rd. And no venue, or is the Buckhead
the Buckhead Fight Club is the venue.
Okay. Because it doesn't have an address there. I'll just also go to that and let the people know. But yeah, man. So are tickets available, being as though it's COVID and stuff, or is this live stream only?
Tickets are available.
Yeah, give me your website.
Schofield.com. We got the tickets on here.
This is actually a nice card. Montana Love is also on this card, man. I like that.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be some good fights.
So, what do you know about your opponent?
I know he has a lot of experience. He's from Vegas, Mayweather's gym. Okay. And that's about all I know.
And he got 40 fights. So we kind of stepping up a little bit. Floyd want to win a world title in 10 fights. I'm telling him, let's wait till about 14. He's ready.
So a world title in how many you said? You said wait till 18 and he wants 14? Or what number did you just say? I'm sorry.
He wanted 10.
Okay. 10.
10.
Trying to tell him to wait till he get to 14 fights at least. But he been doing this since he was so little. He been knocking grown men out since he was young. So he's just ready.
This is my goal.
So this fight, but this, I mean, again, if if you guys have a goal that you want to have a title shot in such a short time, when are you going to tick over to, I don't know, 8-10 round fights? Because this will be the fourth rounder. That's kind of normal progression prospect level. Like, if you're jumping the line, then, you would be in 8 or 6 rounders at this point.
Yeah,
So
this fight is going to be 6 rounds on April 3rd.
Okay, it says BoxRec has it scheduled for 4, but that's good to know.
Yeah, they gotta update it. And after that, he only doing 2 6-round fights. And Floyd already be sparring 12-round fights with these champions. So he just going through the process.
Now, what was the, I guess, thought process behind the opponent selection? Because is it just, again, I'm not digging, I'm just asking. My man hasn't won a fight in, like, I don't know.
Right.
A lot of years,
But he has over 40 fights, though.
Yeah, the thing is, he's a southpaw fighter. This is the first southpaw professional he's fighting in the 6th round. So my whole thing is I'm trying to get him fights with all 5 styles of boxing, since he know all 5 styles of boxing. We trying to see how he do on every style to see if we need to iron some kinks out before we take that title fight. So that's what I'm going through now. So this guy, the reason we selected him, he have a lot of experience. He fights southpaw, and he don't have too much deadly power, but he got enough power to not be an easy fight.
So basically, you still developing Floyd.
That's why I'm trying to tell Floyd to wait to 14 fights. He trying to run to 10, but as a coach, I'm still trying to develop him and stuff like that.
So wouldn't the exhibition be damaging? If you still trying to develop him and Devin Haney calls the bluff and takes this $1 million 6-round fight, isn't it a strong possibility that Floyd could lose this exhibition?
Because he's not ready?
The thing is, we don't care about losses. Floyd is a throwback fighter. His goal is to be the greatest fighter of all time. And all the greatest face losses, face challenges, because to be the greatest, you got to fight the greatest. So that's his goal in life, to challenge himself. He's a throwback fighter. Since young, he's been studying old boxers. So he's been homeschooled just studying boxing. So his whole life been dedicated to boxing. So he wanted to show himself what he could do. Devin ain't a threat for us. That's the thing. Devin is a threat for the picture they painted for the public. The public believe in that. They're not a threat for us. We're not worried about Devin or no other champion. So I'm just developing Floyd, and I hope the world watch.
Hey, Floyd Jr. Hey, Floyd Jr.
You gotta have power to beat Devin.
Can I jump in here real quick?
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, Floyd Jr., how you doing? I just wanted to know, man. This is Francis from Canada. Fighters and trainers and fathers, they always have different ways of seeing the sport, right? You're on the inside and you're on the outside, and you want to do it in 10. Your dad said, wait till 14. Like, give me an insight into why you think that you can really do it in 10, and he's still trying to develop you with certain styles from your standpoint.
Well, I feel like I could do it in 10 because, I've been around with these champions, and, for them to give me advice saying, like, you're going to be up there, and, it gives you confidence, and it makes you want to push yourself. Like, I dedicate my life to this sport. All I do is study boxing. I live boxing. I sleep boxing. So I know within myself I'll be able to win a world title in 10 fights because, not only have I worked towards that goal, I've seen it because I do a lot of meditation and a lot of visualization. So, sky's the limit. And, if you put your mind to something, nothing's impossible. So I feel like I'll get that title in 10 fights. And I'm only 3-0, so I got time. So that's why I feel like
you're only 18 too, right? I mean, that's you're still very young.
But I disagree. Like, if you want to get it done in 10, you don't have time. You got 6 fights to do it. That means you got to start making a change in those names. And those 6 fights, they got to change from 4-rounders to 10-rounders with named fighters in a pretty tough division, right? Like 130 is Shakur's division and Valdez division and the Burchelts of the world. Like 130. He's
Real
going
quick,
to
I think-
126 as his first
Yeah, but
title.
but you got to look at it though, Ness. Right? The Floyd is fighting Mike Fowler, who actually has fought somebody that we know very well, family for TBV, Marlon Sims. That was his opponent last January. You know, so a guy like Marlon Sims, who's heavy on social media, who makes these moves, who, you know, has put himself out there and put himself in a position, you know, where he, I think, is further than his 9 fights would suggest. It's still harder for him. Like, he couldn't jump in. So it's tough, Floyd. I don't even think that winning in terms of beating the opponent is the hardest part. The hardest part is navigating the politics to get you
A title
to that
shot
point
in 10 fights.
Exactly.
You need a major. You need a major to be signed to a major so they can finagle a title shot in 10 fights. That's not gonna come independent. Like, that's gonna be hard, and I don't even know how. Like, because most of the belts are gonna be tied up to a network. So let's say, you know, I know you guys are dealing with Freeway Ricky Ross. Let's say he does come with the bag. That fighter has to leave his network. That network is not allowing that. They want that belt on their network.
Not really. As he continued to build his name, he would partner with a network.
Okay.
Similar like you say to what Devin did with the Zone.
Okay,
He
now we
was
talking.
still partner with one to get that title shot. We can't just walk in, even though we, like you said, we got the bag. They're not just going to give up their champ unless they're going to have the new champ.
And that's what I'm trying to say. Like, painting that picture, right? You got Jamel Herring as the WBO. And let's get something clear. Are you campaigning for your first title at 26 or 30, Floyd? Because I know when you fight in these level fights, you're not really necessarily making the weight of your title shot opportunity. So do you want to be a champ at 126 first or 130 first?
130.
130, yeah.
All right. Well, then again, that's, you know, difficult. You're going to have to sign to Top Rank. Like, they got all the champions.
Not Top Rank. We could. I mean, we've been in
I'm
talks
just saying,
with Top Rank
Floyd Sr., they got 3 belts, essentially, right? So you could co-promote with them, whatever it is, but they got and then again, how easy is it if you sign an Al? When are they gonna give you Javonta? They're not gonna give you Javonta when? You gonna end up with a Chris Colbert before you end up with a Javonta.
As we get closer to that time, we'll be able to update you on that because it's still the paperwork and behind the scenes. So we don't know, like, all of them, the possibilities is on the table. But the whole goal now is just to continue to build him. He got to continue to win, continue to knock people out and show his gifts that he got. And when we get to that point, I'm still saying 14. He said 10. I'm saying 14.
So let me ask, have you gotten calls from Bob for promotional contracts, or from Al or Heyman Boxing, or even TGB and Dazn and Eddie? Has anybody already started calling?
We've been talking. We've been in talks with Top Rank already. We've been in talks with, like, Sam Watson and them. It's like a bunch. He's been in talks, but right now, you know, I believe he just got to show his worth before he signed it, because I don't like the contracts they give.
So what's your plan? Let me hear your plan, because how do you show your son's worth in a time that is unprecedented? Like right now, you know, it's hard. Look at the little, even the little shows that you guys are fighting on, like those are harder and harder to make right now because of COVID and the restrictions and things like that. So how do you show a major promoter that Floyd's a draw when you ain't allowed to sell tickets really at a major capacity right now?
Well, right now, how the business changed, and I know you know, like with this generation, it changed a lot. It's not like old school boxing where you got to sell tickets. You just got to have viewers on you. Yes. You got to have eyes on you, and that's what's being built now. And we've been on top Telemundo twice. We got dates set for Telemundo. It's like open for us to come to Telemundo. So we on a major network showing his talent to millions of people.
I love that, man. I love that. You know, not
the
Telemundo.
Hold on. I want to ask a question real quick. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'm a little bit of the out the box thinker, so I'm also just asking questions because I want to know. Floyd Jr., I wanted to ask you the question. You've heard a lot of times fighters, they jump on social media. You've heard Tank call, you know, Devin a clout baby and this like this. Do you feel like what you're doing could potentially go down as clout chasing?
I Yeah, but this whole Devin thing, you know, it's just for me to gain my respect. You know, it's not like targeting Devin because, you know, I don't like him or I'm trying to get some recognition off his name. That had nothing to do with it at first. You know, I just want to fight for my dignity and as a man. But, you know, people going to say what they say is clout chasing. You know, this is Devin Haney. But I look past all that. You know, I'm just a man fighting for my respect and to feed my family. That's it.
Word. I want to real quick just make it clear. You said there's an open invitation. Well, you said it in so many words to go back to Telemundo. Is that from the network themselves? Like, is it a thing where there are dates that certain promoters have, and you know y'all are able to get on them, or how does that work? Can you elaborate on that?
Oh shit, you gonna have to ask my dad that.
Okay. Okay, no problem. We'll figure it out. Even if I could just text him too, you know what I mean? Like if there's a story there I could write about,
because that's are you there?
Very
Senior?
Interesting to me.
Let him answer. Senior's there.
Oh, I thought he said he stepped away.
My dad went upstairs real quick.
Yeah, he said he stepped away.
Oh, I wish you guys could work that camera out. Come on, Floyd, we got to show the face, man.
Let me see real quick.
Nah, it's all good. We gonna keep it moving. So
that looked like it was about to.
What?
I thought he had it there for a second.
Oh yeah.
Do you see me?
Well, you popped in the thing, and then it stayed gray though.
Yeah, that's weird. It's on now, but I don't. It's so black.
So weird.
Maybe you haven't adjusted your settings. What you got? An Android over there?
We on a MacBook.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
You got to go to your video settings probably on your Skype and just click video. All right, so you on Skype, go to the top first. Make sure that you actually looking at Skype. Then at the top left, click the word Skype. Go to audio video preferences. And then right when you open it up, it's going to say camera, and you will see a black box or yourself. You got to activate your FaceTime camera.
Okay.
Slow that down for him one more time.
You want me to walk you back through that?
You said that kind of fast.
Yeah.
Right here.
It's the Skype. It's the at the top left corner of the Skype page.
But in order to
make
get
sure you're
Skype,
on the page.
But in order to get Skype to be at the top left corner of your screen, you must click on the actual application or the call that we're on. Once you click that, and that's, you know, the main thing that you see on your screen, then you'll see next to the Apple at the top left, you'll see the Skype button, or the Skype word.
I clicked that. It says audio and video.
Click audio video settings, and then when that opens up in Skype, you'll see either yourself or a black box. So at the top of that, it says camera. You see it where it says video?
Yeah, I see it.
You see the drop down little triangle?
Mm-hmm.
All you probably need to click FaceTime HD camera built in.
I clicked it.
Well, no matters, man. No worries. We got some questions from the people. James Valdez, San Antonio, Texas, says, being from Jersey City, New Jersey, and now fighting out of Austin, Texas, what differences have you experienced from fights that happen up east to here down south?
Okay.
See, I was born there, but I'm from Atlanta. Like I was raised in Atlanta and moved here about 2 years ago. And from Atlanta, it wasn't really a big boxing scene. So we had to travel and like to the nationals and stuff. So I feel like that's where I've seen most styles. So the fighters from the East, they're more like, you know, slick, laid back box, you know, they'll catch you with shit like you don't even see, like from different angles and stuff. And compared to the fighters out here in Texas, you know, it's a lot of swarming and like power punches and, you know, fighters with good conditioning and stuff like that. So I feel like it's more like if you want to compare fighters, it's like
what you doing? Who you compare?
Sugar Ray Leonard and Mike Tyson. If you want to put those two together, how they fight.
Cool. So give me the story, because BoxRec has you as birthplace Jersey City. When did you move to Atlanta?
He was about 5.
Oh, okay. So Dad, are you born and raised in Jersey City, or what part of the tri-state area are you from?
Now I'm from Brooklyn, New York.
Okay.
I was born and raised in Brooklyn, New York.
Okay. East Coasters, man.
The house.
I'm asking because I'm originally right next door to y'all. Well, next door to Floyd's birthplace. I'm from Newark, New Jersey.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know Newark. I used to be out there sometimes.
Okay. Nah, listen, man. I'm happy that we got you guys on because I love story. Saddam Ali and his dad did it, and his dad wasn't as vocal as you or Bill, but Bill and Devin done it, and it's your turn now, and we're gonna be behind you guys, man. It's just like Francis said, it can go down as clout chasing. So you got on the scene, man. From here, just let the fighting really do the rest. So what's the situation with Freeway though? Is he like advisor? Is it just like a situation but not on paper?
Nah, Freeway is my advisor. He's like my manager.
Okay.
Because I already know how much money he's gonna be making. I know what he gonna do in boxing. So Freeway touched a lot of money. So he could let you he'd be a good advisor for me.
Okay.
Show me how to maneuver things. And he's a hustler. Freeway is a hustler and he know everybody.
Perfect. We got
So like wait. So real quick, I'm sorry. So just to clarify, it's a situation where he's kind of like a consultant to a degree, or like you.
Right. He's my manager. He's a consultant to me.
Got you. Okay.
And he help oversee the whole project, like and instruct us. Like, I think y'all should take these steps. Like, nobody wanted us to take the Devin thing. Like, Rick was like,
yeah,
but
me neither.
And then he said, I'm gonna be supportive because he understands it. It's just a man's thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't like it if Devin called the bluff. I don't know. I mean, I guess all publicity
It's not
is
a bluff. We want that. It's a real opportunity. It's no bluff.
Yeah, money.
They know we serious
Money
about
and
this.
money.
I mean, it's a bluff until there's a term sheet and a proof of funds.
It's an offer. It's an offer. It's not a bluff. All they got to do is say, we told Devin and them. We said draft up the sheet.
Listen. I had Bill on the show, and he specifically said to us right here, like, Ness, is there an offer? Did you hear Freeway Ricky Wall say it? Well, that ain't real. That's what he said. So all I'm saying is,
let's get Ross on the phone one day. Let's make an appointment. Get Ross on here because we told him to draft up the paperwork. He's the bigger promotion company, so we told him to draft up the terms. That's the purse we giving y'all. Put on paper and let's go.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If you are making the offer of $1 million, it's up to you and Freeway to draft up the terms because you are putting up the money.
It don't have to work like that. That's
so wait a minute. So hold on. Let me help you here because
anyone could draft up the papers. We telling them what we would get them. We asked them draft up the papers. We got it on video that's out there. We asked them to draft up the papers and send it.
But where would the fight be? But where would the fight be aired at though?
He's with the Zone. The Zone is known for throwing fights
so that's
like
what
this.
I'm saying.
They could make the fight with the Zone. They could have it on the Zone.
But that's what I'm saying. Listen to me.
Hold on. And we talking to Triller. Triller is interested in it. So no matter which way they want to take it, all they got to do is agree. They the bigger star. All they got to do is say, we'll take the fight and then we'll proceed.
But that's what I'm trying to say.
But that's the problem is that they are the bigger star. It's like, what do you like if they're gonna draft up and they're gonna use their lawyers to spend the money to do all of the put that in motion? It's like they're doing it for a reason. They're gonna do it for Ryan Garcia because he brings 14 bajillion people on the internet. They're gonna do it for Teofimo because he's got all the belts. They're gonna do it for Tank because he's a major star. It's like, why go that route for them? It's like if they're getting an offer and it's like, yo, they're going to give us X amount of money to fight Floyd, or they're going to have this venue secured with, 80% people, like whatever it is that entices them or how do you say that word? Incentivize? Whatever. I don't, but you know what I'm trying to say.
Right.
That's where it's at. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's where they're going to get their lawyers involved, and they're going to spend the money it costs to draft up terms and do that stuff. But until they get an offer knowing exactly what it is that they're fighting for, it's a really tough thing on their end to move.
Listen,
Hold on. Don't believe that. That's that Haney bullshit. That's
But
that.
what you mean?
Did they do that to Gary Russell? Or did they draft up whatever and send it to him?
But-
now that's the nonsense.
But that's what I'm
thing is,
saying.
if you want to fight,
But
we're gonna fight. If not, we not
no,
fighting.
Floyd, you're mistaken. The reason Devin Haney Promotions can send Gary an offer is because they were gonna put it on DAZN. So DAZN are putting up the money, but you and Freeway are putting up the money. So you and Freeway supposed to draft up and have the network. You can't ask the zone. Listen to me. Just hear me out. Just hear me out.
He signed to the zone.
So how you gonna offer the zone $1 million for their fighter? You see what I'm saying?
Listen. If they wanted to fight, they could go with their partner, the zone, and they have to discuss it with the zone. He can't just take the fight, the offer we give him, no matter what we send it to.
Mr. Senior, it doesn't work like that, sir.
Where does your $1 million come in at, though? If they go into the zone is the money, Floyd. If they go into the zone, it's now the zone's fight. So is your $1 million just a bet? And you hear me out.
Send him a term offer.
You're not listening to. I need you to hear me out so you understand. Because I'm not digging. Is your $1 million a bet, or is your $1 million an offer?
Our $1 million is an offer, and we'll get Freeway Rick Ross up here to explain that. We putting the bag up for them. We will give this the person we will give y'all. Draft up what y'all need to draft up if y'all want to prove what y'all said y'all did. We not sweating this fight that much, brothers. We on to our next one. If they want to fight and prove what they said they did, we will give them money to prove it to the world. We don't care about no Devin. We not stopping on no Devin. That's some Bill shit. Bill started with us. And we answered him and said, yo, listen, we will give y'all $1 million exhibition to prove y'all could do that.
Yeah, and like I get what y'all saying, but like even if we don't get the exhibition, like sooner or later I'm gonna have to be up in that division and I'm gonna fight him anyway. So
yeah, we ain't sweating as much as
hold on, Floyd Jr. Floyd Jr., I just want to tell you something, right? The reason why I asked you the question earlier, if you understand why it would be considered clout chasing, I'm gonna break it down for you so you understand from my standpoint how I see it, right? How I see it is you're looking at a world champion, which you're supposed to do, and want to fight a world champion. Cool. But now you throwing money at a world champion without a network, without an offer. You are looking like you capping as being 3-0. Do you understand what I'm saying? Now hold on, let me explain. You're gonna come off as you capping. You've only been in a 4-rounder. You're looking at a world champion that's looking to be undisputed, and you talking about $1 million, and you don't even have a network. So what Ness is saying is, you can't expect the zone to put up their fighter who's looking to be undisputed to fight somebody who's 3-0, who had a sparring session with Devin Haney before and had success, who's trying to fight him for $1 million when he's making 3.
We understand exactly what y'all saying, totally, and we riding with y'all on that. But take away the world champion aspect. Let's take away all that. We talking from a man's aspect. Y'all diminished our brand. Y'all came at us, and he came out as a man and said, listen, if Freeway got the money, so we could go up and talk to him. His net worth will show y'all he got the $1 million. He's back, and the money is there. So the thing is, we just saying as a man, y'all lied on us, y'all discredited us, and we came and can't. And the thing is, on the thing, we was giving them love. We were saying how much we loved them and how much we learned. 2 minutes later, Bill came on and bashed us and lied on us. So this is a man thing. This ain't no world champion thing. I'm raising a man. And so he's saying, if you could do that, back it up. Because he's trying to destroy his brand. So we not clout chasing nothing. We was minding our business. So that's what we saying. Y'all can't come at us like that and don't expect us to respond. We ain't clout chasing nothing. Leave us be. Y'all didn't stop us. Y'all didn't hurt us. Leave it alone. And then if y'all don't want to prove it, keep going. We gonna fight y'all one day. That's all we say. We ain't chasing no clout. We've been grinding hard. We was homeless. We grinded up to do what we gotta do. We don't give a damn about no bill. So any fan that's listening to this show, we ain't clout chasing. We're gonna earn hours. We're gonna work for hours hard.
And I can respect that.
If you want to prove it, we got the bag backed by Rick Ross, $1 million if you want to prove it on a network of your choosing. We could get to those aspects if they wanted. If they don't, we minding our business. We on to the next fight.
Yeah, and I feel like my team offered Devin $1 million and Bill $1 million because, you know, we thought that's, you know, they would take it like that. But like, if I had the choice, I don't care if it's sparring or a fight. Like, I just want to get my respect. You know, we don't have to fight for money, you know, because it's just a whole dignity thing. You know, I have morals, and, you know, I dedicated my life to the sport, and like, shoot, it could be sparring or whatever, you know. It don't got to be on TV or nothing like that.
I think, fellas, I think that it's served its purpose already. You know what I mean? Like, you've gotten the publicity you needed from this particular situation. Like you said, you know, if it happens, it happens. But you guys are focused on, you know, your own path. You're not, you know, living and dying on this Devin Haney fight. And I take it as I would take it as good publicity and keep it moving. You know what I mean? And just do you. You know, you're gonna have people looking at you now. I mean, again, we're following you now. We're interviewing you now. You know, and we're gonna continue. You know, I'm very happy to find out that he had 200 amateur fights and 5 nationals. That's amazing. I think my man Kashai Elliott either got 5 or 9, and he with split T. So I know great things will come in time for you guys because you put in the work as amateurs and got those nationals that mean so much to these promoters. So, you know, we're going to continue to follow. We do got a lot more questions for you. One more from Essex, New Jersey. King Amin says, peace, champ. Do you think that there are some things that Bill Haney does that puts an extra target on Devin's back, and how you and your dad manage the father-son versus business relationship? So he says, how do you and your dad manage that father-son versus business relationship? So 2-part question.
So which one does he want me to answer first?
You can start with that one. How do you handle the business relationship with father-son first? This is fresh.
Okay. Well, my dad is like, it's my dad, you know. I know, you know, he's gonna make sure my money's straight, and like, you know, we gonna be good. You know, that's my dad. That's the one I can trust the most, you know. So leaving him or trusting him with the business aspect is just like, it's just like trusting him being my coach or, you know, being my dad, you know. I know he got my back.
So I handle the business aspect of it, the paperwork and all that other stuff. He focused on the boxing. And what was the other question?
The next question is, do you think that there are certain things that Bill Haney does that puts a target on Devin's back? And I just got the text from Bill Haney. He says, do y'all want the smoke to bring him on?
To bring who on?
Nobody feel like arguing with Bill, but it's nobody.
We're not gonna argue. We're just gonna get to the bottom of it. Like, that's what we do at the end of the day. This is the boxing where we get to the bottom of what we have to. You know what I'm saying? You feel like disrespected. Floyd Jr. feels like, you know what I'm saying, he just want to get his off. So I mean, this is the perfect time.
And no, but Floyd Sr., I want you to know, if you don't want him on, that's okay, because I want to continue to interview you guys. I don't want you to feel sandbagged.
I'm going to see him on Saturday, and I want to see him face to face and talk this man to man about what happened. I don't need to blast him on camera because I feel a certain way, because he owed us a certain type of respect. So I don't want to be on in front of people saying what I need to say to Bill. I need to see him first in person.
Okay. Well, Bill, you heard that. He going to see you on Saturday.
And this is not on no rah-rah thing. This is just on some real respect as a man thing. We didn't deserve that, so I want to talk to him face to face.
And to answer the question before, I feel like he don't really put a target on Devin back, because Devin a good fighter, and whatever Bill causes, you know, that's gonna be between the fans and, you know, Bill, because, you know, Devin is a humble fighter. He don't do nothing. He stay out of trouble. He listens to his dad, so I feel like that won't put no target on Devin back. You know, people would just be like, oh, it's just Bill.
You got it?
Yeah, we here. I'm sorry. I'm just texting. You know how it is, man.
Floyd Jr., a few questions. Hey, Floyd Jr., I have a few questions that I ask fighters.
Well, hold on real quick. Bill did say that, he says Nestor knows that, you know, that he was very respectful when Samson Lewickovich was on. You know, so FYI, he could keep his cool. But we got another one from the people. James Benitez says, I read your bio, and it states you and your dad stayed in a shelter for 6 months when you were 5. Glad you made it to where you are today. And it states that you are involved in a community service. Are you considering opening a homeless shelter, Floyd?
Probably. That's something to look into. You know, ever since I was a kid, you know, I love giving back. You know, even to this day, I'll be like, you know, we'll stop by a homeless person. I'll be like, Dad, give me some money. My dad would be like, I only got a 20. I'll be like, give it to him. So, yeah, I feel like, you know, only because I also get good karma back, you know, because you're always going to give good into this universe. And, you know, being through that situation, you know, I can't remember. I was just a kid. But I know my dad had to go through some stuff. And, you know, it'll be good to, you know, help other people out, give them a chance.
And we joined with a company here in Austin that they build homes for the homeless. And we use a 3D printer to build the homes for the homeless. So that's what we're looking forward to continue to do. Because, you know, there's a lot of people out there that need help.
Sounds dope. What's the next question,
Awesome. Amazing.
Next one is from David Maldonado. Who wins between Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney?
See, I know we got some stuff going on, but Devin, I will have
He would pick Devin. He would pick Devin. I would pick Lopez. We had this debate all the time.
We have it all the time, like every day.
He say Devin jab would keep Lopez at bay, and he'll use his range.
I say he'll stop probably.
And I say Lopez going to show something different.
Okay, there you go. That's a good debate to have. What's the next question, Nash?
Let me refresh because this is on Patreon and I put this out a few days ago. So shout out to Floyd getting the people to ask him some questions. It looks like Coach Myers came in Connecticut saying, good morning. I was looking through your amateur record and seeing you have 4 losses from disqualifications. What was that about? And do you ever want to avenge those losses to Miguel Santana? I think, yeah, but he spelled it wrong. Santana, that you took in the amateurs.
Okay, so those 4 disqualifications were some BS. I remember the referee told me, quote for quote, I disqualified you for ducking too low.
They didn't like the boxing.
And like I asked, like, was my head down or something? He was like, no, you kept your head up, but I didn't like the fact you kept ducking so low. I was like, what? And then also another time I got disqualified against Santana because it was the Junior Olympics regionals, and I was beating him, outboxing him in the 3rd round, 10 seconds left. I kind of threw a body shot that was a little behind the back, and the referee, that was my first warning or like anything, you know, he disqualified me. And so Miguel's coach actually was the guy who, you know, gets you to advance. So he let me advance to the nationals.
And Miguel don't want that smoke.
Yeah,
Whoever asked that question, ask Miguel, do we want that smoke?
I would drag Miguel now. I would actually want that fight. So,
Floyd Senior, I need you to double back because when we said has Top Rank called you laugh like not Top. We don't want Top Rank. Why not? When they developed everybody like so.
No. That was a misquote.
Yeah, but I just hear a lot of bad stuff on Top Rank anyway. You know,
like what?
You know,
if
they were offering the best contract or deal, you know, it wouldn't be no problem to go with them. But like the stuff that they're
going on that Terence Crawford stuff.
Okay, Terence and the T.O. stuff. The fact that Bob is out here actively shaming his fighters in the media. You're talking about Floyd.
Yeah, it don't look too good on Bob.
Okay. But it's not like you heard from any fighter at Top Rank, right? Like you're not saying that you've heard from somebody who's like, damn, dog, like they got me hemmed up, like nothing like that.
Nah, it's just the fact that there's other stuff going on with these big fighters.
I agree with you. That's such a bad look. I 100% agree with you. And look, this is what I've said too in the past. That's what's happening. Look at that. Look at that. A fighter who's saying, look at what happened in the media.
Yeah.
And that soured them. I'm telling you, he has no idea what he did with that.
Floyd Senior, I wanted to ask you, would you still consider Top Rank since you're looking for 6 more fights before a title shot? Can you do a 6-fight deal with Top Rank? Do you see? Because I think look at what they're doing with Jared Anderson. Look what they've done with Shakur. I mean, you know, they develop very well. You know, they know how to matchmake over there. I don't love it when it continues forever. You know, we call it over here the Top Rank diet is what we call it. But that diet is necessary when, you know, developing a prospect. You know, giving him the right fights, nurturing him, and put him in the right situations. I mean, I do like the development of Top Rank. Do you prefer the development of any other promoter? And by development, I mean those first few fights, not the championship level fights, not the 10 rounders, but just those first, you know, like where Jared Anderson it is today. You know, he's about to be co-main event with F.A. Ajagba April 10th, I believe, right? Something like that. No, just seeing Floyd Sr., you there?
Oh, I'm here with you.
Too long-winded?
The thing I would say, we open for all. It just comes down to the paperwork. That's all it comes down to. It's not really the network Top Rank thing. Is I just don't like the paperwork that they gave to his peers and stuff like that. You know, I think that they should have showed their worth a little bit and then negotiate a contract, not jump into a 4-year contract from the gate. Because they could accomplish a lot in 4 years if they set their mind. So that's it. It just comes down to the paperwork. But we open with anybody if it makes sense.
Okay. Well, those are all the questions. Let me check out.
Cool. So I can get my questions off.
Uh-oh, my bad.
You know I got to ask my questions. Floyd Jr., how you doing? This is some questions I like to ask, you know what I'm saying, fighters or trainers, managers, depending on who it is that's on the show. So, in your young career, what would you say is the music that you like to listen to in the gym, and does that music change pre-fight before you walk out the locker room?
Well, actually, you know, you'll catch me in the gym probably listening to some like jazz or some R&B, like, or my dad will either be playing like some old Motown or whatever. But before my fight, I'll actually listen to love songs because it's like, I don't know, it just gets me in a certain mood. But then my walkout music would be like some dark rap or something like that, and I believe that's what changes me, because when I'm walking to the ring, you know, I don't see my family, I don't see my friends. Only person I see is my opponent, that ring, and my father. So it's like all the lights shut off on the side and it's just tunnel vision.
All right, cool. Real quick, also, what is your pre-fight meal? And what is your post-fight guilty pleasure? Like, I got to have it when I get out the ring.
My pre-fight meal consists of probably a lot of fruit, pasta, lots of water, and then after, man, I eat everything. I'm talking about. You'll be like, who is this? You know, I eat everything. You know.
Whoa! Who is this? Like, you ballooned in weight? You on your Earl Spence?
My face get chunky and everything. You know, I practically eat till I'm sick every time, and I'll be like, I'm gonna stop this, but then, you know, you can't because you was starving, you know, a week before.
So you guys are in Texas?
Yes, sir.
Yes, Austin, Texas.
Oh, Austin. Okay, Kid Austin. Is that where the name comes from?
Yeah.
Did you give me the post-fight guilty pleasure?
Oh, that was everything. Like,
so you don't have anything specific, like a sweet tooth or anything like that you gotta have?
It's just whatever I like can get my hands on. Like if my dad eating something, I'll be like, let me get some of that.
I love it. Also, my final question is, if you were a superhero, what would be your superhero power?
Superhero power? I only can get one.
Yeah.
Just one.
Probably the ability to, you know, something like Aquaman.
Aquaman.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, because like
he control all the sea animals.
Like,
I'm big on nature, so you know the fact that they say the ocean hasn't been discovered yet, I would want to be the person to do it. To see what's down there.
That's deep. I like that.
I love that.
Everybody want to fly and stuff.
Kid Austin, you need to watch Abyss, right? It's like an old 80s movie, man. The Abyss, I think it's called. It's pretty good. It's about that, like, you know, exploration of the deep sea. It was dope, though. Fiction, obviously. But listen, I want to thank you guys for coming on. Please give out both forms of social media, not only for Kid Austin, but for Floyd Sr. as well. We appreciate you. We would love to get you guys back on after the win to do the victory lap.
Yeah, thank you.
And my Instagram is kid_Austin1, and my Facebook is Floyd Schofield III.
Your webpage?
FloydSchofield.com.
And I don't use social media.
Yeah, he don't use social media. He be on mine.
Come
I'm
on,
old school.
come on, Floyd. You need that social media, Floyd.
It's Kid Austin 1.
Kid Austin 1, yeah.
It's his
Twitter.
Media. Yes. Kid _ Austin 1. Yeah, I don't got social media.
All right. Well, thank you guys again for coming on. And like I said, man, definitely want to get you on for the victory lap.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. Good luck, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. Floyd Schofield, a.k.a. Kid Austin. And we might be getting he said he don't got Skype. I thought we did him with Skype before. Now he says
I thought so, too. He tripping.
we definitely have done Skype with you before, Liam.
But yo, listen, man, for all those listening out there, let me get this off real quick before we end the show. Real quick, I got to get this off. Border Wars 11 in Watertown, Wisconsin. You know what I'm saying? Get in the ring and swing. We already got 7 fights that are already locked in. We got some fighters that are paid and are ready, you know what I'm saying, to get a fight. So sign up. We need heavyweight, cruiserweight, light heavyweight, 168 pounders, 60 pounders, 54 pounders, 40. We need everybody, man. Get in the ring in June 12th. The BPE network is going to be live streaming. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Don't slip. 400 or 500 people. It's going to be at the bar. Shout out to Adrian. Shout out to George. Shout out to the whole team out there in Wisconsin. Also, we're looking to have a basketball tournament. You know what I'm saying? So if you're interested in a 3-on-3 basketball tournament with the boxing voice, you know what I'm saying? Hit us up. Sign up. Again, I told you, public service announcement. We got Border Wars June 12th. And we're looking to have a 3-on-3 basketball tournament. Most likely it's going to be in sunny Florida. You know what to do. Get on the court and get crossed up. Let's go. Let's go, Les.
Well, I'm trying to get Liam, who now says that the last time we did Skype, he had an old phone. He got a new phone. I get that. But, transfer your
I got
chance.
2.
Who can hoop? Mario, can you hoop?
I can hoop, bro. I know that, we talked about and you said, oh, man, you kind of seem short. You don't seem built to it. But my game is very specific. I'm good with assists. I pass really, really well. And my handle is actually pretty good. Like, shot-wise, I'm very inconsistent in terms of, like, where I'm good at. My range is always, changing. But I have spots on the court where I'm, like everybody does. Everybody does, right? I have spots on the court where I pretty much don't miss. Nothing like crazy, like I'm not hitting corner to corner or nothing like that. But yeah, I'm. So how would you? I think I deserve to at least be on the TBV team. Like if it's like a 3-on-3, like an alternate type of thing or whatever.
So you would do good. So you would do good in a 3-on-3,
bruh. Let me tell you, us 3, we're not losing. Like Doomy, Sue. No, I swear to God, listen to me. Ness, as big as he is, Francis as athletic as he is, I'm telling y'all right now, like I am, like I don't have like an ego on the court. Like I don't need to be anything but on the winning team. Like I'm hitting y'all with them passes. Like I'm telling you, I swear to God, when I was in college, I was on a 3-on-3. We did a 3-on-3 tournament that we have every year in Corpus. It's called Bay Valley Hoops, and I got my man. We ended up getting not a layup. What was it? I forgot what they're called, but it's a kind of alley oop where you kind of like shoot it, right? Because alley oops are illegal in the tournament, so we did it a certain way. Yeah, we got flagged for it. They didn't let it count, but I'm not gonna lie, it was the dopest shit. If it was at a time when everybody had phones to record, that shit would have went viral.
How is Mario talking about doing alley oops, bruh?
I made the pass. I made the pass.
I don't care. Even the pass, I want to see it.
You gotta see it. That's what I'm saying. We gotta get this done. Listen, we trying to cater to everybody. Not everybody's gonna get in the ring and get punched in the face. But we're gonna make sure you can get on the court and get crossed up, or show like Mario if you can throw an alley oop, or get stuffed by Nestor Gibbs as you go down the lane trying to lay up the basketball.
He just stuffing people left and right.
Yeah, listen, man, it's gonna be fun to see everybody out there who can run around. Did someone say basketball tournament? Yes, Coach Myers. We said basketball tournament in Florida, 3-on-3. Lace your sneakers up tight. Bring your water.
It's going down. We got indoor gymnasium and outdoor locations. We're going to be doing a TBV barbecue. We speaking it into existence, son. We've been talking about for a while. We're going to put that out there. We're going out to the callers, and maybe Bill Haney jumps on. So let's do it. Let's do it.
Remember to rate us 5 stars on
Subscribe
iTunes.
to youtube.com/theboxingvoice for the latest and greatest interviews with your favorite fighters.
I think we got some super chats. No, maybe. Where are we?
I'm not gonna lie. It wasn't on the chat for me, so I lost all of them.
Where'd you last leave off, Francis? You remember your last one? Nah.
Yeah, that was Coach Myers just read. Hold on, wait. Let me tell you right now. Hold on.
Yeah, but what about back in the back? We good to go from potato chip or you?
Yeah, go for potato chip. Yeah.
Ramirez has claims and he has intensive. All right, we did count Drago, boxing expert. Is that Bill? The air?
I hear somebody.
Yeah,
yep, it's Bill.
What
Bill
up,
the
Where
Thrill.
you at? What's that, Mayweather Gym?
Yo, that would sound dope on Border Wars,
What's
right?
that, the Mayweather Gym? You look like you in Chinatown in Vegas, man.
Huh?
You look like
Bill,
you in
shopping for new
Chinatown in
gyms?
part of Vegas.
No. Actually, we happen to be in this great city of no other than San Diego.
Okay, beautiful.
Whoa, you buying a home in San Diego?
Yeah. We're in San Diego. We're in San Diego.
That's what's up.
So how are you? So
we're headed to the beach. We're headed to the beach this morning. You know, I got the kids out and we're having a great time.
That's what's up.
Hold on one second.
Okay.
Damn, beautiful. The kid's gonna stun on everybody being in school at the beach.
It's spring break for the kids.
That's right, spring break. There you go. I thought they were gonna be stunting on everybody in class. They on Zoom class and they in the beach with the background. They're like, that's a fake beach. No, that's a real beach.
No, it's spring break, so we got a chance. We're coming out here. Then we're gonna go to the go to the aquarium.
You a good man. You know, I remember my family, uncles, aunts, making spring break like that. Like you always remember those spring breaks because you never get them back.
Hey.
What up?
Bill.
Hey.
Bill, you ready to announce a date or what? I mean, a venue or what?
You know what? I always try to leave those kind of good questions for respectfully for the everyone that have worked so hard to get the venues and let them do it on their channels in the way that they want to, the way that they want to do it, make the announcement, So, but it is going to be someplace special. It's going to be someplace that we haven't been before. It's going to be someplace that we've been waiting to go. And it's going to be someplace where everyone likes to go and have fun.
Okay, so it's Las Vegas.
Let's say what happens in that city stays in that city. How about that?
What happens in...
Happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Come on, man.
That's right. Okay. That's right.
I was going to say what happens in DR stays in DR, but I
love DR, but unfortunately, I know that it's not going to be in DR. That's one place. Hey, come on, guys. Yeah. So, you guys always are doing an amazing job, man. Shout out to the Schofield family and everything that they're doing. Entering into boxing. We look forward to. Also, I have on that card we have Amari Jones, and we also have Darren Cunningham, who'll be fighting down in Atlanta. So it's going to be an amazing card, and a great opportunity for some of these young guys to get some wins and get on board.
Definitely. So tell us about Darren, man. How'd that situation happen? Because we're gonna have him. We have him scheduled Wednesday, I believe. Let me check my count. I think he's Wednesday at 9:30.
Oh, absolutely. Darren is a hell of a talent. He's national. He has a national amateur champion winner. He's
how many nationals since Schofield
I'm not
has
100%,
five?
I'm not 100% on how many he has won, so I don't want to quote it. But he has won. He is a multi-national champion winner, right? So he has a extensive amateur background. He also has he has 12 professional fights. And he represents that wonderful city of St. Louis, Missouri, right? Where the Alexander brothers come from. He's a nephew of
Kevin
legendary
Cunningham.
trainer Kevin Cunningham. He's a nephew of him. So he comes from a fight family, and we expect great things from him. And he's also He's Devin's first. He's Devin's first fight that Devin's promoted under Devin Haney Promotions. Devin being the youngest promoter in boxing and youngest world champion at currently.
Bill, and again, early in the morning, shots fired. Why don't you give that same energy for Darren? Like kind of the Devin Haney blueprint. We see now that Kid Austin, they admitted to following the blueprint. Like, because we don't see that social media push for Darren Cunningham.
Well, no. On the contrary, what we've done with Darren is he's been slowly brewing. And he's ready to blow, right? Either you are, above your class or you're with your class, as long as you're not behind your class. And so we've been honest, and Darren has did a great job at preparing himself and getting ready. Devin, fortunately for him, but unfortunately for others, that Devin has broken the mold and gave other fighters the ability to jump out ahead of their class. And that's what Devin did. He jumped out ahead of his class based on his experience, no shot or no fire at anyone else that's operating within their class. And Darren has been bubbling. He's been working, you know what I mean? And like I say, he's about to blow.
Again, I'm just saying, I admire what you and Devin have done. And I just want you guys to, keep that same energy with all your fighters. And like Darren, he don't even got a box rec picture. We got to change that. Like, he's a Devin Haney. He's the first Devin Haney fighter. I feel like more push. We need more push for him because he's the first fighter. Like,
absolutely necessary.
We got to at least get that box rec picture put on there, man. Like,
right. And I accept wholeheartedly your constructive criticism when it comes to that. But our plan was to sneak up on people. Okay. Our plan was to put in the work, and we were going to sneak up. It wasn't about necessarily jumping out and doing any kind of clout chasing or anything like that. It was about putting in the work and actually developing a professional style. And coming from the his amateur background with the Cunninghams, he came to Devin probably about let's say about 2 years ago, and we've just been working. Right, Fortunately, Devin had grew up in Las Vegas. Darren came to Vegas, as a grown-up, so it was just a different way that we were able to market the fighter based on the skill set and the work that we had to put in. But, make no mistake about it. He's coming, you know what I mean? And he's been silently working, and getting ready. And I'm glad that you guys are now starting to recognize and talk about him.
Well, we've been interviewing him for a while. Daniel Alvarez is very fond of him, and he's been in the gym with him a lot
out there. Truck, y'all.
Out there in Las Vegas. Shout out to Daniel Alvarez, a.k.a. Ringwalk Danny, on all forms of social media, our Vegas correspondent. But is Darren going to be brought up more the developmental route? Because it seems like, he's got 7 6-rounders and 5 4-rounders. So, it's like you're taking your time with him.
Absolutely.
Okay.
No, absolutely. And that was a strategy that we developed with working with him, of course, him having a voice in it, and also his dad, Darren Cunningham Sr., right? And our approach was the fact of that he was going to follow his own path. It wasn't about, following Devin and doing what Devin done, but doing what he wanted to do and developing a confidence. And most of the time these fighters are now they're calling out fighters at 3-0 with doing 4-rounders, and they're calling out world champions. And it's just, it's not that Darren didn't want to go that route. Darren is a very serious guy, and he's representing St. Louis. And anyone that knows anything about St. Louis, those guys don't play. So our thing was to develop him and get him ready to, of course, go and eventually headline in his home city of St. Louis and bring the people out.
Now, is he trained by Mickey Bay? Who's training Darren? Is the father training him?
Yeah, no, Mickey Bay is training him. Of course, I've always been there trying to, give everything that I could to him as well. I've been with him, since the beginning, of course. And he's got a chance to work with a host of different trainers that you guys, I'm sure that he's going to eventually tell you. I mean, he's worked with the Floyd seniors of the world as well. So.
Yeah, I mean, I remember a time Kevin invited me down to his gym and said his nephew was there. So did Kevin also train him for a period?
Yeah. Yes, Kevin trained him and spent a lot of time with him in the amateur boxing as well. So Kevin had Darren come down to Florida, work with him, did some amazing things with him, and like I say, he comes from a boxing family, a boxing background, so we expect big things out of him.
So I don't know how much of the interview you were listening, but I want to revisit the Kid Austin stuff only because you educate us a lot, and I take it as time to learn, right? So
big facts.
I thought I was telling Floyd Sr., Kid Austin's dad, the right thing, right? Because they are allegedly making an offer to Devin Haney, but they don't have a network. They didn't send a term sheet. You asked us to ask them, has Freeway publicly said it? They want the fight to be on DAZN. So how does that $1 million even like, that's not even possible, right? Like, if you offer the money, it's got to be on your network, or could they offer you money and still fight on DAZN? Does it then become a bet and not an offer? Like, what do you make of all of that situation? And please give us some clarity from a business standpoint so that we can understand when these things happen in the media like this.
Well, like I want to point out, no shouts at the Schofield family, because what they're doing, and it's a compliment to us that they're actually saying that they're following the blueprint of Devin. They're getting out and speaking up their fighter, and they're doing the things that they feel that they need to do to bring attention to him, right? So I want to definitely give them props and give them the shouts for mentioning Devin, because as a father and coach, manager of Devin, to be in this position that young fighters are now wanting to get work with him and then validate themselves from him, when the world sometimes tends to not validate Devin himself as not fighting credible fighters. So it's a bittersweet feeling, to say the least. When we had our dialogue, what I was trying to tell the dad to kind of pump his brakes and hold the horses, in the sense of that Devin sparred him with one hand, right? And it was well publicized. Of course, Floyd Schofield, he got on there and he said that Devin sparred him with one hand, and he also said that I gave him his props and said the next time that he spars Devin will use two hands, right? So
that's what they were saying, like, that they don't know if you was making that up, because Devin was throwing his right hand and trying to hit him with power with the right hand.
What's wrong with it? Yeah.
So that's why they turned it up.
Yeah.
No. Well, I mean, I think that. So what did he say? He said what? He said that he didn't use his hand, or what did he say?
No, today he says that Devin did use the right hand. That's why they don't know if they believe that his hand was hurt or not.
Oh, so he then contradicted the statement that he had said before priorly.
Essentially, yeah,
Yes,
kind of.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Well, like I said, is one thing that you have to do is you have to be conscientious of what you say, what you don't say, and what you never will say, right? But
Bill, give me some clarity on the offer. Like, can a guy like Schofield Sr. make $1 million offer and expect that $1 million offer to be on DAZN? Is there a business way to make that happen?
Well, I mean, I guess any offer, we take any offer, that, and we don't take the fact that he can't make an offer. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So.
But again, how would his $1 million work in a contract to fight Devin on an exhibition on DAZN? I just need you to help me understand how that would come into play. Like, wouldn't it be DAZN have to put up the money if the fight's going to be on DAZN? Can Schofield offer you $1 million to fight on DAZN on an exhibition for 6 rounds?
I don't know how that would work, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to turn it down. I don't want to say that we can't accept $1 million, right, to fight an exhibition. You know what I mean? It's starting to seem like exhibitions might be kind of the way of the world. You know what I mean?
Unfortunately.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I don't want to like downplay the kid or say that it couldn't happen, right? Because then, right, so, maybe another YouTuber says tomorrow, right, that he wants to offer $2 million for an exhibition or $5 million for an exhibition. So what I don't want to do is I don't want to downplay those opportunities that could be on the table.
You don't want to take opportunities away, but at the same time,
I understand.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Francis.
I understand the
I didn't
part
hear you.
still having a little bit of clarity I need to understand is how does that work for Dazn or how does that work for a network?
Yeah.
Like
that's what I was wondering.
Network, and I want to know with the $1 million offer, I mean the network is paying the fighter a certain amount already. Like how does that work, Bill? Do you know?
Can I give you a metaphor that I'm thinking in my head that is confusing me about this, and maybe you can answer it. It's like if I want to fight Ness, right? And I say, Ness, I'm gonna give you $1 million to fight me at your house. Like, how can I make you an offer with things that I don't control? And then at the same time, you're assuming that the other side, because the way that he made it sound, the way that Senior made it sound was that like if you control the factors like network or venue or whatever, then then the responsibility falls on you. But for me, it's like, how can he put a contract out that secures the zone when he doesn't have that backing? You get what I'm saying?
No, absolutely. This is all new. You know what I mean? And we love to be in the.
You're right.
Yeah. This is all new. You know what I mean?
New territory.
And, you know what I mean? And nothing is impossible. We're getting a chance to see, a fight potentially being made between,
Such a businessman.
Hey, he said it. He don't want to.
You heard Floyd Senior. Floyd Senior said he's also talked to Thriller and they're interested. So let's get to the bottom of it.
Well, hopefully, listen. What's coming to the table is the fact that Devon's notoriety and the fighter that Devon is, right? We want Thriller to be interested. We want Dazn to be interested. We want everyone to be interested in Devon and interested in seeing. Is it a fight that would happen they would actually put the money up and bring it to fruition? You know what I mean? That's something that I would question. Of course, we've been trying to get the who's who of Hoodiesville in there to fight Devon now. So to say that they're not just that they're just saying it for clout, or to saying it that Rick Ross has $1 million that he's going to actually put up, right? You know what I mean? Is something all totally together different.
Let me
and that's new territory also.
Let me ask you a few questions here. What's your thought on on Lance? Is it Lance Pugmire or no? SI is the one from Dazn.
Chris
Mannix on his podcast said that.
Okay, hold on. Before we let's stay where.
Now, Devin Haney is a great champion, I must say. But I think Devin and them thought he was going to be easy. And they put him in with Devin, but Devin had one hand. I think he broke his hand or something during this one right before Gamboa. And he was in there holding his own against Devin. And so they wouldn't spar him no more. They basically said, Devin dad said, if we spar you again, we need both our hands. So that was a good story. So Devin was watching him low and stuff, but he kept going. So it was interesting. So that's one gem story that happened. I never seen nobody spar and fight with a broken hand. But Devin is a true champion. He went in there with a broken hand and still fought. And most people didn't know his hand was broken. So when they judge how he did against Gamboa, that's because his hand was broken. Okay.
Yeah, you played that before, Bill, but I hear you, man.
No. I needed to play it for our Boxing Voice fans.
Our new listeners.
No, our Boxing Voice followers that didn't get a chance to hear it the first time because they got a chance to hear it. You know what I mean? For a second time. You know what I mean? So, that's the Schofield business. And like I say, I take nothing away from them. They have their nose down. They're working. They're definitely looking at the right people, right? They're trying to make moves. They'll be fighting April the 3rd down there in Atlanta. If you're in the Atlanta area, be sure to go out there and watch them. Check it out. It's going to be a great show of future world champions. And that's pretty much what I can say about it. You know what me and the father.
let me get
me
to
and the
this
father
though.
me and the father had a little bit of misunderstanding, is because what I was trying to help them when I said, come on down, and they have one of their managers, and also Rick Ross, both friends of mine, and also Curtis Meeks, is what I was saying with Dad, is I'm like, Pop, don't go around and say that it's good work, right? When it's only one hand. You cannot say that it's good work. It's going to diminish the fighter. So I've been in it a little bit of this time, and we've had sparring sessions, we've had fights, we've had something. So I was trying to school him on it, right? But he took it in a different way, right? He took it in a different way. Maybe my tone towards him was, but we were on a smaller channel, and we were talking, right? And I was kind of like, now like now he's on a big stage of it, right? Because now he done made it to the boxing voice with the story, right? And no, listen, no, he made it to the boxing voice with the story, and I said, no, that's not a way. That's not a way.
Yo, Bill, you know how to stroke egos, man. This guy's a talker, man. I love it.
No. What I'm saying is, but that's not necessarily the story that you want to get out there, that you consider yourself competitive with Devin, and he only used one hand. You know what I mean? But I'll tell you one thing.
There's no continuity there. You have to keep the continuity, right? Like, it's not just about consistency. It's like what was said, what happened, and then it's like, if you're going to change up the dynamics of the conversation, then you're breaking the continuity of what, especially if we've, had these conversations live on TBV's airwaves.
I kind of want to get away from it,
Okay, well, listen, that's a great point, because we also have something that we can premiere on the Boxing Voice that happened last night. Hold on, fellas.
What happened? Yeah. That's what I got that. That's what I want to get to, man. But it's a few things. We gonna get to Barbershop. We've been talking about his interview all day, so don't worry. I know where you want to go.
Sometime in July.
Here we go.
Okay. DB. After Cambosis, what would keep Tio from making a Devin bout? No, I think, a matter of fact, the father was interviewed and mentioned either the winner of Ramirez Taylor, which can't happen because of their obligation to fight Catara, or Devin Haney. So by all means, we're going to try to make a Devin Haney fight for Teofimo after the Cambosia fight.
So, more importantly, what we get a chance to hear on this particular thing is that the Cantrell, the Ramirez and Taylor winner goes to Cantrell, and everyone knew it. I knew it. Everyone knew it. The guys like Ness and the real boxing heads knew it, and they knew that it was never a possibility for. Well, let's not say never. We know that it's a strong. It's not.
Why can't he take step aside money? Give him step aside money.
Okay. Listen, because he's already taken step aside money. He's already stepped aside. He's
Postal stepped aside three times, man. He stepped aside three times for Danny and still got a shot at Crawford. At Matisse for a shot for the vacant WBC.
Absolutely, that's a good point. But that's a question that you have to ask Cantrell. Cantrell never had an opportunity to step aside for the fight at being an undisputed world champion. So when you talk about being an undisputed world champion and having an opportunity for the guts and the glory of it, right? What are you in the business for when you step aside, right? When you step aside, when you have a chance, when the money is on the table, to then become the undisputed champion, have the money, and be in a position. So unlike of course the Devin Haney team, we would never step aside for an opportunity to have an undisputed. And I don't think you have anyone in history that has ever stepped aside to fight for undisputed, right? When you talk about fighting for a belt, one belt, a single belt, that's quite possible, right? But when you talk about the undisputed, that's not possible. And when you talk about the fact that Josh Taylor has openly said that, told Teofimo, clean up the division. You talk about Jose Ramirez, who's never showed expressed interest in fighting him. He says that he's going to go up, right? You talk about a promoter in Bob Arum, who also says that he he wants to make that fight, and that fight will be a great fight. You only have the Lopez's family who are saying that they're looking other places. They're diminishing Devin's credibility as being the fight that can happen, right? But once I told you this, Ness, I said the rubber was going to meet the road, the lies was going to catch up, alibis stopped matching up, and it was going to be a problem. Patience is what we have as Haney's. We're very patient. Patient and frustration doesn't run on the same street. We've been patient. We've debunked everyone's theory that Devin wasn't in a position to now. Teofimo Lopez is in a corner. He's in a corner, and he has to back it up. One thing that I do not overlook is Jorge Linares next. Jorge Linares is the perfect fight to prepare us for our next fight in Teofimo Lopez. And I hope that Kambosos is his as well.
Let me ask some questions here. What's your thought on, what's his name? What's his name again, Mario? Fuck. We interviewed him in Vegas. What's his name? From Dazn? Chris Mannix. Chris Mannix reporting that Golden Boy offered Ryan Garcia $1 million to fight Fortuna, and he turned it down.
Well, that was last year, though, wasn't it? When you talk about the rumors and what Chris Mannix is saying and stuff like that, it's bittersweet because what we've always wanted was Dazn to step up and put Ryan in the position that to make the fight happen. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. He carries a lot of weight. He has a lot of fanfare. Chris Mannix said that he openly he says, Ryan, you call the shots now. You're the guy. But then he comes back later on now and publicly outs him for the Fortuna, right? I think that we look for consistency, right? We look for consistency, and one thing that you can say is consistently is that Devin Haney has made himself available to fight everyone, right? And you've never heard a promoter, you've never heard the network, right? An executive come out and say that we overpriced ourselves or that we weren't in it. Because these guys coming up the ladder, right? These guys were on the table we wanted them for far less money than what's on the table now, right? These were the guys to get in Devin's position. He had to be willing to fight them, right? He had to be willing to fight Ryan Garcia, Teofimo Lopez. He had to be willing to fight them to ever get in bed with Eddie and do business, right? Mm-hmm. To be the youngest promoter means in boxing, right, is that you can't avoid the bullshit. You know what's going on, right? You're privy to talks, right? And when it came down to legacy defining fights, you want to be able to put yourself or put your fighter in those positions. And that's what Devin wanted to do. So we worked as best as we could, right? We sacrificed not doing deals with Jay-Z, not doing deals with Mayweather, not doing deals with Bob Arum and alike and Golden Boy, right? Only to hear yesterday great questions that Fred asked Bob the tough questions yesterday, and I think Bob stood up under it. And Bob said that he's willing to accept other fighters being promoters. Yes. Right?
We talked about that this morning. Yeah,
and listen, and that's falls right in line with Devin Haney and what we've been working to do. When people thought we were crazy, right? When people thought we were crazy, that it couldn't happen, right? Oh, that Bob doesn't do this. He says, well, Bob says that he's been doing it for 10 years with Manny Pacquiao. So what we wanted to do, and always shout out, we give all the kudos to Eddie Hearn for allowing Devin to be great, meaning for Devin to become a co-promoter, for Devin to have the obligation and the responsibility to promote himself. While Eddie was busy with Anthony Joshua, while he's been busy with Canelo, right? It's perfect for us. It's perfect that you don't do nothing, because what you don't do allows us to do everything and be the guys that we are. For Devin Haney promotion to be the team. But see, if you were signed to Bob, like if you were signed to Bob and Bob is doing all the work, you kind of get caught and lost in the shuffle. If you're with PBC and then PBC, you're on Fox and all that, so you're not actually able to show how you raise the profile. But when you talk about us doing a deal with early on with Reebok, right? We did the thing with Reebok. We bought those Reebok boots out, right? Devin wore them Devin had everybody wearing the Reebok boot. We showed them what we could do. We showed them what we could do. We did that single-handedly. No one else was wearing that boot. The boot came.
Floyd was wearing the Reebok.
Yeah, that's why we went it, but it was dead. Floyd was retired. We went and told Reebok, right, give us the boot. We got another version of the boot with another symbol and all the stuff. It was it was in the same look, but a different boot, right? It's like the Nike. You put on the Air Force One.
You're taking me way off. I had a few questions for you. Come on.
Okay, hold on. But it's like taking the Nike Air Force, taking the swoosh off, you know what I mean, and doing something else with it. Okay, Nike was Nike, but Off-White is different. So Off-White is hot. Virgil made Off-White hot using Nike. Devin made Reebok hot. Yeah. Devin made the Reebok boot hot. But guess what? So when we came to him and we told him, okay, well now we need a position where every boot that's being sold, we want a position. We want a Devin Haney boot, and we're gonna watch how people go buy that boot. Right? They didn't want to do it, and I said, okay. Well, then guess what? We won't wear the boot, and now look at what the boot is. The boot is dead. No one is wearing the boot.
I don't know about all that, champ. That Reebok boot got mad. Listen, McGregor wore that boot versus Mayweather, white and gold. Yep. He released that color. But listen, you taking me off topic.
If you go to the gyms right now and you see what boot the kids are buying right now, right? They're not buying the Reebok boot no more.
I don't know, man. I seen the Reebok. The red and black is a inexpensive boot. It's like $90, I think, on Amazon or something like that. And a lot of people do have it. I guess maybe it's an East Coast thing. I don't know. You know, y'all in the West. But listen, what about the fact that during Fred Barbershop Conversations interview with Bob Arum, they announced Nakatani Lomachenko is official. No more, rumors, no more negotiations. It's official.
Well, it's official. It was official. It was official for a long time. It's been official for a long time.
Though he gave a date. Yeah. He said, "What he
said?" Yeah. But that to us, we heard about it, right?
Okay.
We're making it official, right? Me and you, we knew about that.
Nah, I didn't know about that. I didn't know about that. I knew it was a thing. Like I said, we knew it was a rumor. It wasn't being negotiated. It wasn't hammered out. Right. Things can always fall apart at the negotiation table. What do you think about that fight, though? Because you wanted Loma, so now
hold
on, because we've been asking ourselves, like, does Devin Haney still want Loma if he loses to Nakatani?
But listen, no, great question. When I heard the Nagatani and Lomachenko fight, I thought that was great for Lomachenko to finally get him a date, right? Get another date, because he didn't have a date.
Called for that fight, right? Too.
Yeah, he didn't have a date. But more importantly, right, was the fact that what Bob Arum said that he had never said before was the Teofimo Lopez fight for all the belts. You see what I mean? Right? So
keep going. We're listening.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah, so that was a great opportunity for us to hear for the very first time a promoter, Hall of Fame promoter, and Bob Arum to not say the things that I was hearing in the past of Devin not being qualified or not being ready. What he said was that fight for all the belts and a true undisputed happening after Kambosos and after Devin with Linares.
So who you think beats, Nakatani or Loma?
I hope Loma. I go for Loma, but I mean I don't have a horse in the race, right? But of course we would like Loma to win. Keep this thing lit.
So if he doesn't win, do you still fight Loma?
We fight Loma if we don't get Teofimo Lopez, right? Because that's a big fight. If we can't get Ryan Garcia, then it's Lomachenko, right? Lomachenko is still a heavy name, a big name in the 135 pound
You would
division.
give Lomachenko a title shot even if he lost to Nakatani.
Oh, lost to Nakatani?
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't. No, lost. No, we don't want. I said we don't want him to lose.
I know, but if he loses, I'm asking the question: if he loses, is he off the table for Haney until he gets back in the win column, or is he still an option for Haney?
Of course.
No, let him answer.
I think that we would then have a problem with the network. You know what I mean? We would have a problem getting him on the network. He has to win in order for that fight to make sense.
So I mean, it would make more sense to fight Nakatani in that position, right?
In that position, yes.
So
and how many people, honestly, like everybody in the division, I'm not saying would be dying to fight Nakatani, but at the end of the day, like he presents a really good opponent in a market like Japan that's big. I mean, it's the same situation to a degree with Javier Fortuna and Linares. Like you have a well-respected name, but the difference is Nakatani is beating, Loma. Like that's huge too. You know what I'm saying? Like even though Linares has the veteran and the name and Fortuna's been in the game a long time as well, Nakatani would be like the it guy. So I think a lot of people would want to fight him, right?
Right. But I always say, if was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. You know what I mean? you can't take the fact of I will never diminish what Lomachenko has done, right? And thus far, he's one of the big names in the lightweight division. And until that is disproven, then I'll continue to shout his name.
Well, I just want to be clear. So, but you said that off a loss, it would be difficult to get him approved. But just keep in mind, you got Gamboa approved off the Gervonta loss. They still took that.
Yeah, but he didn't have two losses in a row.
Okay.
Plus you don't want to go backwards.
Let him answer.
I'm sorry.
Jeez,
no. But he didn't.
I'm just trying to make the case, though, that Loma losing two fights in a row is different. That's wants us to just say Loma sucks. Like, that's it.
That's not what I'm doing, bro. I'm being thorough and being clear.
Then I apologize. I put a narrative in your mind, and that's what I was trying to defend. And if that's not what you were saying, then I apologize. But you said that shit a lot of on here, so I don't think you can blame me.
Listen to me.
What did he say?
Listen to me.
What did he say? What did he say on there? What did he say?
Go ahead.
What did he say?
He has been very down on Loma, and since his loss, he wants us to essentially. It's like he doesn't even give Teofimo credit for beating a guy like Loma because he didn't believe in Loma in the first place. It's like he wants to get rid of him, and to put you in a situation where he wants you to say, and this is what I was thinking, that Loma ain't shit off of two losses, but nobody shit off of two losses. Why would you want Loma at that point after losing twice, one to Tio, and then the guy that Tio beat? Like it's just silly. But again, I apologize. That wasn't the narrative. I jumped the gun.
Yeah, that definitely. I just want to know, is Loma still an option for Haney even off the loss? And then move on to, is Nakatani an option if he wins? I just want to be thorough.
Okay.
So Bill, that's all I'm asking. Those two questions.
No, yeah, but the thing that's most is as Teofimo Lopez.
We don't got Tio on the show. We got you on the show, so I got to ask you these questions.
No. I'm saying this: whenever you get him on the show, why does he keep saying that all these opponents that make more sense? Why did he say the Camboso's opponent? Why is he saying that he's looking for Ramirez and he's looking for the Taylor winner when Jack Cantrell is in that position, right? And if Jack Cantrell, right, if Jack Cantrell wins the fight or doesn't win the fight, right, then he still has that fight available, right? He could have fought in Devin and then still had Cambosos available if he won. So when you start talking about step aside, you start talking about the boxing business, why is the boxing business only applied when you're ducking, right? Why is the boxing business not being applied when you're trying to make the best fight happen that the people want to see?
I don't know. I'm sure Tio, as a champion in all those divisions, can activate the WBO or the WBC to petition the shot at the champion above. That's what champions do. But is Nakatani an option if he beats Loma?
What, next?
Not
after
next.
After Linares?
Yes, after Linares.
No, it's Teofimo Lopez.
Okay. So if Lopez is doing whatever you say he might do, right?
Wait, no. Wait, no. If Lopez, let's say it, if Lopez ducks Haney, is that what you're saying?
If that's what you want to say, sure.
No, now I want to hear it out of your mouth.
Well, I don't know how he could be ducking.
If Teofimo is not an option, is Nakatani a reasonable option if you can't get Teofimo for whatever reason?
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Listen,
I just want to be thorough on the answers.
Absolutely. What I'm saying is that we as world champions, Devin, right, and DHP, we keep answering the bell to the fighter that's the best available fighter. Now, the reason why we fought Gamboa, because that was the best available opponent, right? If Teofimo Lopez doesn't want to make the true fight of undisputed, then we have to go to the next available opponent.
And who's that?
Well, I mean, we have to wait till the fights till the fights happen, right? Okay. Because then we owe the winner of Ryan Garcia and Javier Fortuna. We still owe Javier Fortuna a shot.
Well, that cancels out, right? Because he's fighting someone, so he's got to win to be owed that shot. He's fighting for the interim.
Right. So that's what I'm saying is, so then it becomes the winner, right? It becomes the winner of Javier Fortuna and Ryan Garcia.
Yeah, but then Javier still has to do the same thing that Ryan had to do.
Didn't I tell you that when he said, I said when we went on here with Sampson, I said, what about Bob Arum? He says Bob Arum won't want to make the fight. Didn't he say that?
He did say that.
He did say that. Yeah, he said that. And guess what?
You got a call.
No, I'm here.
Okay.
No.
Guess what? You said guess what? You said guess what?
I don't know.
You said guess what?
I don't know what you mean. I mean, just again.
No, he didn't finish. He didn't finish.
No,
he said guess what?
No. I said guess what? Bob Arum now comes out and says that's the fight that he wants to make.
Yeah, but
I said, so you're going to tell me, wait a minute. I said, so you're going to tell me, Sampson, that Teofimo Lopez can't fight Devin Haney next. He says, well, I mean, no, he couldn't. It would be on Bob. So I'm saying, okay, well, let me ask you a question again, because you're being evasive, Sampson. If Bob Arum wants to make the fight happen next, can the fight happen? He says, I said, no, if Bob Arum wants to make the fight happen, he says, well, yeah, if Bob Arum wants to make the fight happen, but he doesn't. He's not going to want to make the fight happen, right? And I said, okay, well, then, if he doesn't want to make the fight happen, then your guy is the guy.
Mm-hmm.
Right or wrong? Is that what happened?
I'm sure.
No, do you remember? Do you recollect that?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why you always drag us back. Like, we did that. We talking about today.
No. Dragging nobody back, right? When we talk about all the time that's being spent on Earl Spence and Bud Crawford, when we talk about all the time that was spent on Anthony Joshua and Deontay Wilder, and we talk about a 22-year-old Devin Haney, we ain't spent no time making no fight happen.
Yeah, you got about a year. That's what we talked about this morning. You got about a year. You know,
wait a minute. 1 year ago,
it ain't been bubbling long enough.
One year ago, Lomachenko was applying for the franchise. When you were down there, you did a wonderful job down there.
That was more than a year ago. That was October 2019.
Okay, October 2019, right?
Yeah.
So it's over a year. Okay, yeah. You're right. Right, where you did a wonderful job down there,
and it's starting to bubble now. That's what I'm saying. All big fights take time to marinate.
So while we had a representative, DHP had a representative down there. Top Rank had a representative.
Here we go. Why you love going down memory lane, Bill?
Because I think you did a wonderful job, and I don't think people give you 100%. I don't think that they give full credit to what happened in that 50-second convention down there in Cancun.
That's all right.
Yeah.
You know,
okay.
Listen, we just want to know, like, future, like.
Well, when you say we,
happen?
Do the we just mean me, or do the we means the general consensus of what the people are talking about? Because when we say we, and that's where you say we being the undisputed or disputed. When I say it's a general consensus of people say that it's not undisputed, right? because they don't feel like, and then you have a general consensus of people to saying that it is undisputed. And we talk about this problem that has arisen. We talk about first and foremost dealing with that business should be the primary business at hand, not secondary. Okay,
yeah, I just believe
this person or that person.
I just believe that those talks will get stronger in the coming months when Haney and Linares fight, and the DAZN contract will be rumored to be over. Bob will start communicating with you more because he would be at a higher interest to deal with just DHP promotions versus also Eddie. Not to say that he doesn't want to deal with Eddie, but he said on record, when you guys are out your situation, it would be a better time to make that fight. Now, this interview, he says, yeah, we'll be looking to make that fight. But also, time is going and shortening on that contract. So I'm sure those talks will get heavier when that time comes. I'm just trying to talk about what's at hand. What's at hand
We're
is
talking
Linares.
about when we're talking
What's
about
at
this.
hand is
I would much
Linares
rather like to
and
talk
being
about.
official.
Listen, I don't have any problem talking about what you want to talk about. Thank you for having me on the Boxing Voice. If we should talk about fighting a 6-round exhibition, if that's what you feel like talking about, if you feel like talking about the winner of Lomachenko and Nakatani, that's cool too, right? But when you talk about give me an opportunity to talk about what I want to talk about, I want to talk about a true, undisputed world title competition between Devin Haney and Teofimo Lopez that both promoters are saying that they're willing to make. Bob Arum and Devin Haney.
Yeah, but again, Bob ain't sent you no term sheet. Bob just talking in the media and you know it. But if you willing to accept that as gospel,
listen, Bob is just talking in the media. Bob is just talking in the media. Then how can we assume that a Nakatani? Why should I talk about a Lomachenko? Why should I talk about any fight if we can't assume?
Because Loma and Nakatani on top rank, man. So he's in-house in that. That's
and
his.
He's announced it.
That's his.
That's an actual fight that's going to happen.
He can announce that because those are his fighters. He can't announce Devin Haney and Lomachenko. He can't announce Devin Haney with nothing until he talks to you. But he can, and we can take as gospel that Nakatani and Loma is official because those are his fighters. You know, we can't take nothing else on gospel. We can't take him saying we willing to make that fight till he send you a term sheet.
Can we take gospel, Bud Crawford, and Earl Spence anything?
No.
Well, wait a minute.
No.
I'm glad you brought it back to what we actually talking about, which was the topic. So Bob is saying on that Fred Barbershop comment there will be a major announcement. So we're trying to play Clue here. What is this major announcement for Terence Crawford, right? Because,
I'll tell you what you're doing. You're playing at whatever topic you want to play at and whatever narrative you want to play at. What I'm talking about is, listen, that's what you're going to do. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring you back to reality,
What's
my brother.
reality?
And
What's
bring
reality?
you back to, the reality is the fact of is that 2 scheduled bouts, right, against 2 hell of 5 fighters in the sense of Devin Haney fighting Jorge Linares. You got Teofimo Lopez against Cambosos. And then you got Devin Haney in a position that he's in a position to make the fight happen. He said that he wanted.
But is
Bob Arum
Tio
says that he wanted.
in that
Wait a
position?
minute. Give me a second. Now, when you talk about we didn't wait when he said that he had to fight Nagatani to then fight Richard Comey to then fight Lomachenko. Lomachenko waited a whole year. So when we talk about one fight away, right? One fight away from being truly undisputed, then let's talk about it.
But you're not one fight away.
You got half of it done already.
But you're not one fight away. You're not one fight away. You got Teofimo talking about he might move to 140. Like, we need to wait till Tio beats or loses to Cambroso and see what he gonna do.
No. Bob Arum has said that fight can't happen.
And that don't mean Tio ain't gonna move up.
Yeah.
That don't mean that, Bill. That don't mean that.
Well, listen. Let me just tell you this, is we've been doing it and we've been doing it for the people. You see what I'm saying? Right? We've always felt, and I've never said nothing bad about none of those fighters. We come on here, you say that this is the fighter, right? Me and you talk about, we say this is the fighter. Well, that's the fighter, right? The people say that, okay, that's the fighter, then that's the fighter. The people are saying Devin Haney. So if he's not respecting the fact that he's doing what the people are asking, then that's cool too, man. You see what I'm saying?
Nah,
what are we talking about?
Listen, if that time comes and he vacates and moves up, then those conversations again get brought up. But like, we don't even know. You guys got to fight. He got to fight. You guys both got to get through fights, and then Tio needs to decide: is he staying at 35?
Is he moving up?
Okay.
You know,
well, listen,
if that's
man.
listen, no. Let me ask you a question.
He got to make decisions whether or not he wants
Let
to.
me ask you a question. Do you know for sure? Let me ask you that question because you laughing at me. Like, do you know for sure Tio staying at 135?
As far as I know that he said that he would stay there to make the fights happen, right? Then he said that, you know, his dad just said the other day that he's going to go up to he's looking for the winner of Jose Ramirez and Josh Taylor, right? And he'll take the winner of that, and if he can't get the winner of that, then it's Devin Haney.
Okay.
Right? So Bob Arum comes on and says that he can't get those guys, right? Is Jack Cantrell his fighter?
I don't know, man. I think that's a UK.
So.
I think that's
that's
an Eddie
no,
fighter.
I don't think so. That's an Eddie fighter, I thought, right?
I mean, Cantrell also could be Frank One. I would have to Google it.
Right. So that's the thing about it is that we have all these guys that it's the hypothetical, right? And we talk about all these things that we can't talk about, right? But then we take time out of the morning, right? I take time away from taking my daughter to the beach. Then we talk about Devin Haney and an exhibition against a fighter that's 3-0.
Nah,
but
we talked about multitude of topics. Don't single
I'm
it
saying,
out like that.
I'm saying, right? That's what we're talking about. That's what I got on here because that was what was being discussed.
Well, the young man had a scheduled interview. The young man had a scheduled interview. He's got an upcoming fight. We trying to give him some shine.
He's going to do great, and he could quite possibly want that, right? He could want that. That's what he could want, right? What I'm saying is what we want with DHP and what Devin Haney wants is Teofimo Lopez.
And that's
You see what I'm
great.
saying?
But we also let them know that their offer wasn't an offer, that their offer was more like a bet because they didn't have a network. So, you know, it's not like we brought them out up here to clout chase. Look, you know, I wanted also, you said, has Freeway said it? They couldn't produce that, but they said they could. They said they can set it up because that's what you wanted, to make sure that it's coming from Freeway, right? So, you know, again, it was a multitude of topics, and the Nakatani Lomachenko brought up because those are two Bob Arum fighters, so he has all right to announce it. You know, he can say he wants to make a fight with you, but he has to please you. You have to agree to his terms and whatever offer. So obviously we can't be talking about that like it's gospel.
I've never talked about money. We've never talked about A side, B side.
I know you
do.
didn't.
The people listen? I'm saying this. We're just saying that we're available to fight, bro. That's all.
And you know the issue again is that you're available, but we have to wait. We just have to wait. You know, we have to wait till Tio fight and till you fight. It's no different than Keller Plant. Look, Keller Plant is waiting. Keller Plant is waiting.
Hey, Ness, did you wait for Richard Comey and Lomachenko?
What you mean, did I wait?
Did you wait for Lomachenko to announce the fight? Wait a minute. Did you guys wait to announce the fact that Teofimo would be fighting Lomachenko if he beats Richard Comey?
No, we definitely announced that Teofimo will get the Loma fight if he beats Richard Coleman, because that's what Top Rank, who owned, you know, in a sense.
So why
who had the promotional license?
So why can Bob Arum do it then? And then when
because
he got
the fighters, Bill. Stop. Come on. You know, Comey is a co-promoted Lou DiBella with Top Rank, and Tio is with Top Rank. So if he tells us that his other fighter, Lomachenko, who's with Top Rank, will fight the winner of this fight, yes, that's gospel. He got contracts on that.
Now, because he didn't say Comey would get the fight either, because he didn't know. Like, this was a Teofimo Lomachenko buildup. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
like, the writing was on the wall.
But he also told you that he knows that Devin is on his last fight with Eddie Hearn, and we would be independent. So that's a fight that he wants to make. And we said,
that's what he said.
And we said, yes. And we said, yes, that's a fight that we want to make, right? So why is it not gospel?
Because you ain't fully independent yet, are you? No. And that's what I said earlier. Until this fight is done, and until T.O. is done, that conversation won't happen. You still with DAZN.
Okay,
you owe one fight.
But you just said that T.O. didn't beat Comey. But we said, okay, but if as soon as he beats Comey, then we're looking forward to the fight with Loma, right? But we don't have a fight. If we beat Linares, right? We beat Linares, right? And we don't have an agreement with anyone, and we want to make the fight happen. Why is it not gospel?
Because you are with DAZN. And until that last fight is over, you're still with DAZN. And Bob
because think about it like this.
And Bob Arum has already stated. Bob Arum has already stated that when you're not with DAZN, he would be more inclined to making that fight.
See, that's why. You know what? That's why I said. That's why I did never want to bring that up. And I want to say is, even with DAZN, right? Eddie Hearn has Anthony Joshua that's with DAZN, and they're saying they want to make the fight. Tyson Fury is with.
But don't worry about that, because Bob Arum ain't out here actively saying that Joshua needs to get out of his contract, or he'll be more inclined to make that fight with Joshua if he's not in the contract. But that's what he's saying about Devin Haney. He's on record saying that when you guys are about to be out of contract, so it makes more sense to talk about it then. Am I right or am I wrong?
No, it's not. Because if the fight's not available and it's not on the table, then why don't we just sign again? Why don't we go sign with anybody else?
Well,
right?
because
if he's saying publicly and he's saying to us that fight is available, then we're not signing with nobody because we know that the fight is available.
But you still ain't made that conversation, right? You still ain't had that conversation.
Yeah, he just said it.
No, you still ain't had that conversation. Like, you want me to
conversation? What do you mean? Now, what else needs to happen?
So you telling me you don't gotta talk to Bob,
Bill?
You can't do. Bill, you telling me you don't gotta talk to Bob? You don't gotta talk to Bob.
No. What happens in this case is you understand what's on the table openly instead of waiting when the market when.
But what's on the table? What's on the table, Bill?
Teofimo Lopez.
Okay, and for how much? And when? And
listen,
where? And in front of who? And on what network? They ain't shit on the table until you talk to them.
You don't know all that. You don't know all that about no fight, buddy boy.
Oh, so
you don't know all that about. You don't know all that about Earl Spence and Bud Crawford.
So did you talk to him already?
You can't even get.
But you haven't talked to him yet. That's what I'm saying.
You can't even get Bud. You can't even get more involvement in making the Bud and Terence Crawford fight because you never hear nobody from Earl Spence side. You only hear Earl Spence. You've never heard that. On Devin's side, you've heard Teofimo. I mean, you've heard Eddie Hearn talk to Teofimo Lopez.
We definitely got Tim Smith on record. We definitely got Tim Smith on record, who is the CEO of Heyman Boxing. We have him on record saying that Earl Spence isn't, considering Crawford at this time. They're doing their own thing.
No, considering and saying that you want to make the fight happen, right? It's two totally different things. One thing that you had Eddie Hearn, you have Eddie Hearn saying that he wants to make the fight happen. He's willing to make the fight happen.
Yeah,
right?
we all waiting for Bob, Bill. We going in circles. We going in circles. We all waiting for Bob. You know it and I know it. Like, why are we going in circles?
I think the best way to really show.
Tell me we not
listen,
going
I
in
think
circles.
the best. Real quick. I think the best way to show.
What you want me to say? What you want me to say? You want me to say all this shit that the other fighters is that Devin Haney ain't available and it's impossible. That's what you want.
No, I don't. No, I don't.
But we need to wait for Bob. This is what you never have. And you have your favorite fighters, fans, who ride like a motherfucker, right? They ride hard, right? Mm-hmm. And we love them to death for riding hard. But what you don't have is you don't have the promoter and Eddie Hearn saying that Devin Haney doesn't want to make the fight, that Devin Haney is looking for somebody else, or it's not possible. You don't have Bob Arum saying it. You don't have Devin. You don't have me saying it, right? You openly have.
Bill, don't matter. It don't matter if they say it because promoters still do what they want.
You're right. Let's talk about that.
No, don't promoters
You're
do
right.
Don't promoters do
you're
what
right.
they want?
You're right.
Don't
listen,
promoters
you're
do
right.
what they want?
Hey,
didn't
you're
Eddie
right,
just force you to fight Linares?
Listen,
you wasn't looking at Linares.
AJ signed a contract, and there's no
Hold on.
venue. There's no date. There's
Hold on.
He
You
didn't
was
force me to
not
fight,
looking at
He didn't force-
Linares.
he
You
didn't
was
force
not
us to
looking
fight
at
Linares.
Linares. You was
He
not
didn't force
looking
us
at it.
to-
Let me talk, and I'll let you talk. You wasn't looking at Linares, but then you came back and said we got to take Linares because that's what the network want. So
Listen,
you
I
know it's
told
not
you-
as
no.
easy as what
No,
the
I told
promoter
you.
says,
Okay.
man.
Well, let me talk.
It don't
then.
end
Well, let me
like
talk
that.
then.
Go ahead.
Let me talk then. Let me talk then. He didn't force us to go with Linares, right? And when he suggested Linares, wasn't nobody else in line to fight. Wasn't nobody else raising their hand. Wasn't no Javier Fortuna. Wasn't nobody raising their hand. It was Linares. He was the first person to raise his hand, right? And when he told me that, I agreed with. I said, okay, we got Linares. When they start talking about Linares, then we got a backlash from people saying Javier Fortuna and
You
so on
see
and so
my
forth.
point, though, right? You see my point. Devin
No,
Haney.
you don't have a point.
Okay, well, maybe you didn't hear it. Devin Haney wanted Teofimo Lopez or Vasil Lomachenko, and Eddie got you Linares. That's my point.
Because, let me tell you why. Because Lomachenko team and Teofimo Lopez's team did not want to negotiate the fight in a way that you have.
But you was available, though, right? You were available.
We were available.
And
We were
you're available
Right.
now, right? And you're available now, right?
Well, after Linares, we are.
Exactly. So that is my point. Again, we are going in circles until Bob is ready. It is on Bob.
Bob just said that he's ready.
He ain't ready till he calls you, Bill. Like, why are we doing this? This is crazy to me. I can't
tell you
believe
this,
we're going in
Let me
this
tell you this.
circle.
No,
When he
Bob
calls
wants
you,
people to sign with
when he
Bob
calls you,
Bob did-
or sends a term
what
sheet,
Bob
like,
did
what?
was
This is
what
crazy.
Bob did was
What?
what Bob did was like what Eddie Hearn did, and Eddie Hearn telling, and you guys said that Eddie Hearn wants to sign Teofimo Lopez, right? However that he said it, or however that it got out, Bob Arum said that, oh well, if he's saying that he wants to sign him, that's great that he wants to sign him, but if he does something to sign him, right, he's going to sue him, and his grandkids are going to live off the money.
Yep.
That's what Bob Arum just said on what's the name. Now, then Bob Arum said that I'm not interested in signing Devin right now or doing anything with Devin right now, right? But when Devin is out of the agreement, then we're willing to make the thing happen.
Exactly.
So guess what? We said is, because we're chasing legacy, is that the fact of is we're going to be available, Bob.
We're
going to be available.
After
After Linares. Now, after Linares, we're available. Is Teofimo Lopez available?
All right, and that's what we said. Now you see where you ended. Is Teofimo available? That question is for Bob, and we can't answer it till then. But you want to go in this vicious circle.
Bob just said that he wants to make the fight.
Teofimo has to win, Bill. You
Okay.
know
Teofimo
you
has
know
to
you
win.
know better than this, man. Let's get to some callers, man. We done
Man,
lost
man,
all the callers.
Hey, Ness, you ain't gonna win with that one, dog.
I ain't trying to win.
Bring on some callers. Bring on some callers.
We done
Bring
lost
on some
them.
callers.
We got like 2 left here. Let me see. Look, fucking Antonio done dropped off. Who's this?
Blog Talk shut down.
J Mac. Well, we been. Bill took his OT, man. J Mac, you want your call? He the only caller at this point.
Yo.
What's up, champ?
Son, I'm trying this new Bluetooth setup.
You sound great.
Sound pretty clear.
Yeah, you sound good.
Yeah. Shout out to all the truck drivers. Get you a good pair of blue set. I'm tired of the King Bones, the fucking stick talks on there with them regular ass headsets and shit. Now, I'm listening to both sides of it, and I think Ness, you're making a point of saying we've been here, done it already, and you didn't heard it all before. And I definitely understand Mr. Haney's side of it, because he's trying to put his son in a position to dare to be great. So he's staying, I guess, optimistic and staying open to, even if it's just wordplay at this time, because that's what it all falls back on, to the words and how you word what Bob's saying and how it's worded what Bill takes from what Bob said. And definitely in his shoes, he's going to look forward to getting this fight done, because that's something they're chasing. For us, the topic at hand, just run it quick about Bud and
We just
what you
trying to
say?
figure out who he fighting because Bob said he's making a major announcement. But the funny thing is that he says it's a major announcement, but the other side will announce it. So to me, that means it can't be Thurman, it can't be Porter, right? Like, why would my mandatory announce my fight? Why would a dude coming off of almost 3 years layoff announce my fight? It gotta be Pacquiao because he's the legend. He's the one with the torch to pass. He's the one that I can say I'm the B-side to.
Yes, look. Ness, you about to make Bill a point by guessing and talking about guess and make believe if you keep going at it. Nah, I don't care who we fight at this point.
Ooh, you done went through that truck area right there, buddy. We done lost you in the truck. But yeah, I mean, I get you, man. But this show is based on guessing. The Dehaney situation isn't based on guessing. This is still based off of Bob Arum comment on the same interview with Barbershop. And yeah, man, it's if you're making a major announcement as a promoter, I'm interested to know what that is, especially when Terence Crawford's included. But that was our last caller. We drugged this one out to the Eastern here, 1234. Bill, thank you as always. Appreciate it. Nest GTO, Instagram, and Twitter. Catch us on the next one, fellas.
Yo, at Martin McGee on Twitter, at Martin McGee on Instagram. Peace.
Next up, Sports Talk. You already know, man. It's Francis from Canada at Next up Sports Talk. Also, the weigh-in boxing on IG and the weigh-in on YouTube. Come check me out. Border Wars 11, Watertown, Wisconsin. Let's go. And we also got this 3-on-3 tournament that we're looking to have in sunny Florida. Keep it on the lookout for it.